What is going on, friends? I'm Tom the Queen City Picker, and we are live. So come in and let's chat. Let's visit, whatever you want to call it. I've slept most of the day because of a sinus headache, and now I'm wide awake. Hey, the White PC. How are you tonight? Or the White 2-pack. Excuse me. Ten of Hearts, how you doing? Swag Maven, how are you doing? Just Pamela, hello. Land Shark Picker. How are you doing tonight? Let me do something here. Where is it? I've been on the run for the last hour. So anyhow, hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. It could be. Could be. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get on the right screen. I have too many screens. I need another monitor. There's a link to the chat, to the Streamlabs. If anybody wants to come in. Hello, Redneckson. Good to see you. Major Tom. That's cute. So anyway, if you're interested in coming in, there's the link. And we'll just talk about whatever you want to. Hey, Glenn. It's good to see you tonight. We'll talk about anything you want to except sex and politics. Because those two topics will get everybody in trouble.
Hey, Tom.
I'm up on the fourth floor, casting out what I need to.
Hey,
When I'm doing, then I gotta go down to 2, and I'll meet you down.
How was everybody's day?
Good so far.
Good, Tom.
Yeah, pop-out check pulled out.
Derek's listening to the boss. Hey, Maggie. Well, it's Saturday night. If you want to talk.
So.
Maggie, if you want to talk about sex, then you should be doing it in the privacy of your own bedroom. It's Saturday night. Hey, David, the truth. How are you doing?
Yeah, they I just talked to Debbie. She said to say hi because she's gonna be out of commission for a long time, guys.
Debbie does sales?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
What happened? She
broke her arm.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
She broke her arm in both bones, and then she's gonna have to get it all fixed in the wrist and everything.
What? How did she break it?
She was shampooing her carpet and cleaned her carpet and slipped and went right down on it. So I just talking to her. She's Craig. I'm not over my YouTube allowance today. I'm not the one that's stuck in a nursing home. So you have to be careful because the nurses are going to come in and turn off your TV.
Yeah, Craig, I was watching your video, and that's whenever Tom popped up. Got to the part where you're buying the hockey stick. So I cut it off to watch this.
I have slept quite a bit today. Well, yesterday and today because of sinus issues, and now that I've slept, I'm wide awake. So I figured that I'd maybe connect with some of our my middle of the country and left coast friends.
Mhm.
Yes, like I said, on West Coast at like 7:16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
And hey, Mike. Deb, my executive producer, she never sleeps, so
Look at it again.
she might she'll be in and out. Anyway, what's been going on with you guys today? Anything?
we went saucing today and had a great day.
Good.
I went to like 3 sales, and then I got from like 7 o'clock to about 8:30, then headed in for work.
We got up this morning, got to the first yard sale at
Sit
8:30.
down.
That guy was arrogant, but because I didn't say anything, I kept out of his way when he was setting up. He gave me good deals on what I wanted. So
Yeah, I found an electric Smith Corona blue typewriter for like $3.
nice.
It had like 5 on it
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And I said, "Well, you take 3 for it?" Or she came back with 4, and I kind of like did the little head bob and all that. Okay, I'll take 3.
Yeah, I bought a bag of Hot Wheels. There was another guy there looking for Hot Wheels, and I grabbed the bag, and I'm just like, yeah, it's all newer stuff, and I'm just peeking through the bag, and the guy goes, yeah, it looks like a lot of new stuff. And I said, yeah. So I went to the kid that was running. I says, how much you want for the bag? He goes, I don't know how much you want to give. I told him $5. He goes, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, okay, I'll do that. So I started going through it. A lot of the basic stuff, new 2000, 2003, 2007. But what they didn't see was dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
They got rubber wheels on it.
Nope, that's the actual Redline wheels on it.
Okay.
That's the original. That's one from Night the Demon from 1968.
is there any money in the Matchbox cars?
Gray wheel and black wheel metal, yes. Some of the super fasts, yes. Everything else, no.
I got made this morning.
What's that?
I got made this morning. Somebody recognized me.
Really?
And I said, "Hey, you're Swamp Picker?" Yeah, I actually saw him yesterday at a garage sale. I
Yeah.
said it in my little video. He was buying Legos. And when he left, I bought a whole bunch of hats there. And the guy was digging through some other hampers and found 2 more bags of Lego. And I said, I hope that guy comes back. I'll give him this or something like that. Or I'll, I saw the guy this morning. I said, the guy found some Lego when you left. And I said, if you go back, he might give it to you,
That's
And all
cool.
that. And that's when he's, a couple of minutes later, he said, "Are you Swamp Picker?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I watch your videos."
Yeah, it was funny. My friend Joe was at I think it was Advanced Auto Parts, and he was talking to the guy, and I was like FaceTiming with him, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I want you to meet NASCAR Man 3345. He's on YouTube." He goes, "Oh, I watch his channel. I know who that is." What? I said, "Oh, that's the first time that's ever happened."
Well, nobody ever recognizes me. And with this face, that should be easy to do.
Yeah. I hope we can meet up in October, Tom. That will be
Once you're closer, I might would go up there.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, look at you guys. This is my den. Stuck in the office, so.
There you go.
When is the Hot Wheels show next year?
April.
Yeah,
but I'm coming down in October to go to Nag's Head to go fishing.
Okay. Well,
So
if you're going to Nag's Head, unless you're specifically coming in my direction, like to meet somebody or something, You going way out because you're in Rhode Island, right?
Yep.
You're going way out of your way.
Well, what the situation is, I mean, I have to go down because that's where we're fishing.
Yeah.
So we'll be on a bus and we're going to Kitty Hawk one day and stuff like that. So
Cool.
Yeah.
But we definitely will when you come to the Hot Wheels show because I'd like to go to that.
yeah, you'll have a blast with that. Just make sure you got enough for money though. Because there's
Okay.
four or five different things. If you want to go to the dentist, you can get the dinner car. You're gonna get to sign in. You're gonna get that car. Then you're gonna have to go to. There's other things to do. There's like 4 or 5 cars to buy. It's gonna cost you about $125 for the cars.
Right.
So, and those are limited edition cars that you can only get when you go to these shows.
Oh, okay.
So,
Now, didn't you just get a box of cars or something like that?
yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, like a case
yeah.
of cars.
Yep.
Did you get that? Who did you get those from? The manufacturer, or did you get them from like a?
What happened was that was our Diecast Jam show, and Mattel sent 2 cases to us. 3 cases. 1 1/24th scale and 2 1/64th scales. They didn't tell us that one of the cases was signed by the designers.
Cool.
So when Glenn PM'd me, and he said, "I'm going to send you so you can buy raffle tickets for me." I'm like, "Okay." So I grabbed his raffle tickets. He won a car.
You know,
That's
I
on
was
its
watching a live show, so
Yeah.
I want to, so I bought sent $10 to get 14 tickets or 12 tickets or whatever.
Yep, 14 tickets. Yep. So I got that for him. He did that. He wins a 1/24th Fast and the Furious car.
That's about what that big, huh?
Yeah, it's nice. And then so I said, "Well, what the heck? I'll go and I'll grab a quick 5 myself, just so we can make some money because nobody was buying any at the time." And all of a sudden, I started going around again, sold more, and they're like, "Oh, you won this case," and I'm like, "What? I won what?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." I didn't open it because I wanted to do it online, and all of a sudden, I opened it up, and 4 out of the 6 cards are signed by the designers.
Cool.
So you
So
could tell it wasn't like a machine to sign; it was actual hand sign.
actually hand signed right on the top.
Cool beans.
Yeah. So it says 2019 right on it. So I couldn't believe it when I opened the case. I was like, "Wow! Oh, this is crazy."
I think I saw if I showed this to you before, Derek, but like this is the Hot Wheels bikes. This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
graph, and I got Nathan Ramsey, which is a Kawasaki, but this is
Kawasaki, yep.
a signature one. But if you look on the back, it's got a little signature.
Right.
And I had to buy a whole bunch of Pro Circuit pipes.
Right.
To get both of these, and I actually I had to buy like 5 of them.
Yep.
3 or 5 of them, and I did it again, and so I got 4 of these total.
Nice. Cool.
Craig is in a full.
Craig is in full form right now. Oh my God. Oh,
So much-
Deb's in the chat. I told you.
Yeah, I saw that she was in there,
Yeah.
and I put the link in there if anybody else wants to come in. We got 2 more slots.
Yeah.
Hey,
Craig,
Michelle.
I got me a hockey stick too. You know, I'm
Nice.
even farther down south than you are, and I got a hockey stick.
Wow.
Yeah.
They know what hockey sticks are there?
Oh,
I have to buy a
That's
whole
what
set of-
that's what I said to Craig when he bought his first one. I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, the SEC teams have hockey teams on it." I'm like, "Yeah, club teams. You don't
This
have
is like a little kids team, whatever. But I paid $10 for the stick, all the gear, and the bag and everything. You know,
skates are where you're gonna make your money."
yeah. I think he has some like cheap skates in there, but I got a couple regular like figure skating ones.
Yep.
I haven't posted yet, and they were made by a U.S. company somewhere. And they use screws and not rivets. You know, because usually the screwed in is a better blade,
Yeah, it's a better blade because it's
replaceable.
yeah. Well, if the blade can be replaced, so you don't have to worry about the truck being all messed up. So yeah, I used to have a pair of Power 1000s, and they lasted me forever.
I went to 4 yard sales this morning, and they didn't have squat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and they said they hadn't had that many people stop by. And while I was there, you could see people drive up and
Yeah.
stop and look up the driveway to where, and they just kept on going.
Yeah. My son.
Well, the last.
My son found this today
Wow.
Oh man, cool. And the
That's
box
pretty
too.
cool.
in the box
How much?
with all the manuals and
Yeah.
film.
Oh, cool.
Very
What
cool.
do you get for it?
I did not go garage selling today.
What do you get
And
for
we
it?
actually
Couple bucks?
ran in.
Well, that's some a fancy one there because it's got all kind of buttons at the top. Normally they don't have all those.
It's a talking one.
Oh, it is. So yeah, that's even more valuable.
Wow.
So for 2 cameras, he paid $5.
Well, that's good. Cool. It'd be nice if Retrospect still bought them, but they don't buy them anymore.
Have they stopped buying them?
No, I don't
No,
think
they're
they overbought. They should have like kind of.
It's
I
even
saw
got
them
the,
5 of them in 1 week. That's how many they buy. They bought hundreds and hundreds of them.
yeah. This is it even has the original receipt.
Oh man.
Hey, Julie, you don't like dirt track racing?
I love dirt track racing.
She said her boys and her hubby, her boys, and some of the grandkids have gone to the dirt track for racing. Not her cup of tea.
Mostly cars.
Yeah, it has to be the dirt tracks into the cars. That's what if anybody watches Jerry Whitney, the Jerry's chicken shack auction, he sponsors a dirt car. And,
Okay, let's give Michelle a second to talk.
I just went back to cropping and listing. I was listening too.
Okay. So how's things been out there? Been hot out there in the.
It's been hot and it's been raining.
Oh.
Like in our neck of the woods, it gets hot during the day, builds up the clouds, and then it dumps at night. So the last couple of nights it's done that. It clouded up this afternoon, but it never really started raining. But I didn't go to any garage sales today because I decided I have too much stuff that's not listing and not leaving. Therefore, I don't need more stuff. But we'll see. But I have made it out of my office and now into my den, which is the original office, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I still go, but like I said, I just learned how to try to not buy stuff, but it's still hard not to.
And you think, well, just these little things, it'll sell. It just, yeah, I just have too much stuff.
But it's about finding that home run. You hate to, miss something, and find out somebody else, I'm watching a video. So I go to a garage sale that was close by, and so I'm not going to go. And I see Lonnie on there and all that. And I knew I could have been in there within 5 minutes and buying that item. I'm going, oh man, why didn't I go?
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You're not that far away from each other, right?
What's that?
You're not that far away from me.
Oh no, he's about 15 miles away from me. He's in Devon Springs, but he has to come. He comes to Baton Rouge and do all this. Basically, 90% of his buying is in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But and you guys know this. You make your money when you buy.
Right.
So if you're not at that garage sale,
right.
Too damn bad. Too
Right.
bad. Too sad.
Well, I got the same problem. If you see all this stuff behind me, I got stuff I need to list. I shouldn't be buying stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you'll see. I think I'm blocking the best part, weirdest part.
Right, I can
You
kind
got a bunch of clothes back there.
More shit. This is like a 12 by 30 room. And I have a utility room on the other side. It's full of stuff. A fraction is listed. It's time to get other stuff up.
Moving. Yeah.
Debbie's going to bed. Good night, Debbie.
All right, Deb.
Debbie.
Good night, Deb.
Rest well
Hey,
tonight.
everybody in the chat. Y'all should come in and hang about.
Yeah.
Okay, is it Chanel or Channel? Cotham.
Channel. Kills them.
I bet it's pronounced Chanel on that channel.
Michelle, Debbie Dustell, she broke her wrist today or arm pretty bad today.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll be out of
Well,
service
good.
for a couple of weeks. She's not going to be doing her show, so she just wanted to let everybody know to give her prayers and literally she broke her like it's jello and she's and then bones. Look at it does all of this.
Hey, let me get something to fast with.
I have to get pins and screws put in there.
Well, it did pretty good by staying away the street we were actually on when we committed to not going into it teed, and there was like a garage sale. Last week I was garage selling in the hood and I found some really good stuff.
Well, that's where we went today, and I was like, okay, and how am I going to do? And I did pretty well myself too.
Yeah, and that's kind of the funny part. You never know when you get somewhere. You perceive they have Walmart crap and just a bunch of old shit.
Well,
But
the only thing I was kind of leery on, the lady had a pair of Merrells, and nice looking too. And I'm sitting there going, and in the area I'm in, I'm sitting there going, why would a pair of Merrells be over here? I'm not sure if they're going to be legit. So
why would an excellent condition, in the older vehicles, that hump that goes between the seats, I don't know, whatever that's called.
Console?
console?
Well, but not the console, but the hump itself. This is a cooler with 2 can holders and a place for a 6-pack that goes on that lump.
Yeah, you're talking about the doghouse.
You like
I
a
don't
van?
know. I don't know.
I call it the doghouse when I like a van.
Yeah, but some of them are too because that's the way that they get into the transmission.
Well, I had to do that last time. It wouldn't start. We had to do 2 little clips at the body, pop it, and you pull the whole thing back.
Yeah,
Hit a couple buttons, hit a couple switches, start it and put the doghouse back.
Yep.
That
Well,
was
I paid $5 for the Igloo cooler that rode that line, and I need to list it for $80. When am I doing? I gotta get that. But it was cool and something I never really expected where I found it. You just never know.
Man, 600 pieces of jewelry coming Julie's way. She bought 3 estates today. Woo.
Wow. Good for you.
Wow.
I'm not sure if I could do that much jewelry.
I don't know anything about jewelry, so I look for like the marks on it. If it doesn't have marks on it, so I can tell like whether it's silver or gold or it's a manufacturer, then I'm lost.
So it's obvious it's 9.25 and it's slapping you in the face. Type deal.
Do what?
It's like at 9.25 and it's slapping you in the face and saying, "Hey, I'm 9.25."
Yeah, if it's not right there looking at me, I just don't get it. And that's like the Hot Wheel cars, The red, it's a red line. Well, it might be have red lines on the tires, but they might not be the real tires because they might not be the right kind of tires. And then when you flip it over, the bottom of it, if you don't know which is the correct bottom, you could be buying a knockoff or a repo or something like that.
Yep. That's right. Happens.
That's the reason this. And Deb, I'm going to get this out to you this week. I'm sending this to Chick Picker. Let her look through it. She can do with it what she wants. Hey, Lothar. Is that the dancer behind you?
Yes, it is. Yeah, he's going to bed.
Go watch. Trying not to leave Tom's show to go watch. Go watch what, Beth? Oh. One of those shows y'all are addicted to. Oh my God, I got stuck on one last night. It's on Netflix. It's about a record company up in Canada. and they deal with like all the snow and the ice and all that kind of crap up there.
Mhm.
And they talk about being out in that damn frigid cold all night long trying to get this freeway. I got it, just like reeled me, and every time I started to push the button to turn the TV off of it, then they'd come up with the on our next episode. It would be like this, and they'd be like, "Okay, we got Tom reeled back on in."
It's like they had that one that was on. What was it? Here, about the tractor trailers and everything when they crashed, and the guy owned the towing company out of Chicago. I mean, that show gets me hooked, and I constantly watch that show.
You know, I know people that live up north love it up there, and it's all they've known. And my southern ass would be moved out of there. I would not be up there very long because it is like sub-zero temperatures, and these guys are trying to get these wrecks cleaned up. And I mean, I hope they make a lot of money, because if they don't, they love that crap.
Well, Tom, if you really want to see where I live, exactly my city, all you have to do is watch Live PD on Friday nights, because they're actually in my city.
Okay.
Well, they got a deal now in Baton Rouge. It's one of those live shows.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw it, Baton Rouge, I think they do like 5 or 6 states around the country.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and they started naming these streets like Longfellow, Evangeline. That's right down the street from where I work. you know.
Well, the city I worked in, Santa Fe, New Mexico, they were on that, and they stopped because their insurance company said, "You stay on that show, we're raising your rates."
Exactly. Yep.
So they got out.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Warwick, Rhode Island, and now we're doing it, and it's like, what are they doing?
Well, I like to be there whenever they actually come to my parking lot with the cars, and I'll be pointing at the sign.
Yeah.
Buy from my cycle supply.
I'll stand out there with my subscribe sign, my like button. I don't know if you've seen those, Michelle. Have you seen those?
Nuh-uh.
I'm sorry,
No.
I have not.
She seems like she's lagging a little bit. I know the only time her mouth's not moving, she's talking.
Yeah, she's got a delay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, and so I'm on my newer laptop, and I'm in my office, and the Wi-Fi router is 3 feet from me, as opposed to me being on the other end of the house when I
I'm
was
not
all
worried about
choppy and weird.
We're good. We're good.
Well, if it gets out of control, let me know.
Okay, I will. But you're all there. You're not pixelated. You got great color.
Oh, good.
So
I don't
when
look
I
like
go
I'm ready
on,
to pass out.
I can do this,
Nice.
and
Okay.
Nice.
So
now you need one with a hashtag with your store name.
I have that sitting over there too.
Nice.
That's it.
Who was it? Somebody asked Julie. Oh, she was one about. She asked about lizard lick trucking or whatever it was called.
Lizard Lick Towing. Yep.
See, my uncle, when he was alive and he was younger, he had a service station in Myrtle Beach, in Conway, South Carolina, which is right beside Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much anybody from my part of the state goes through Conway to get to Myrtle Beach. But anyway, he had a record service. And when I was like a teenager and younger, we usually stayed over at his house because he had a younger son. And so I went a lot of times. He'd come in there and say, "Hey, Tom, you want to ride with me so he didn't have to go by himself. Do you want to go with me there's been a wreck?" So I would go with him to do these record calls.
Yeah.
And so most of the stuff, the lizard licking or licking
Lizard Lick
whatever it was called, I've been exposed to, because they, on Friday night going into Myrtle Beach, it's like 3 lanes of traffic, bumper to bumper, everybody getting in, trying to get into Myrtle Beach on a Friday night.
Yeah, but that's not what Lizard Lake Towing did, though. Lizard Lake Towing did repos.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they did repo and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
But
that's brutal.
I just that whole thing up there about this, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like a major roadway up there, and if it gets blocked, it just totally messes up everything. So I know it's all TV and that kind of stuff, but you know, these guys staying out all night in this frigid cold, trying to get these roads cleaned up is just amazing.
Yeah.
What was it? Something else somebody said, and I was going to make a comment about, and I can't.
Hopefully, hopefully your dad goes okay. He is going to have major surgery next week, so
Yes. Much positive energy.
Yep. That sounds good right now.
Y'all were talking about
sandwich.
Y'all were talking about Vice TV and all that kind of stuff. Back when Cops first came on, and they were pretty much in the Fort Lauderdale, Myrtle Beach area for like the first couple seasons. When they Roberta, my wife, lived in Fort Lauderdale for a while, and my best friend and his wife grew up in that area. We would be watching that. You know, we'd go out to dinner and come back, and we'd be watching Cops.
Bad boys.
And my wife went, I've been in that convenience store. And Chris is like, I have too.
Mm-hmm.
And the store right beside it where the dry cleaners, that's my dry cleaning place.
I know exactly what you're talking about. My grandparents lived down there, and I would spend every summer down there for like 12 years. And same thing, watching Cops. I'm going, wait a minute, I have breakfast in that drugstore. Wait a minute.
Well, I watched them last night, the same thing. I'm saying they're running across a highway. I said, I know that highway.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Albuquerque, and they've ran all over town filming Breaking Bad and that Soul Show, and I think they've even filmed on my street, but I don't know that they filmed my house. But why not?
Oh, well, you'd have known it.
I would have known it. That people would have told me, but at the same time, I'm glad. The main house where they did the filming and throwing of the pizza on the roof and all of that stuff,
right?
They were having a tough time trying to sell the house. They got bombarded with Breaking Bad fans.
Wow.
If I were asked, I would think 82 times before I would agree to being on a major show.
Right.
You know,
that'd be crazy.
You know, I guess I just look at the money and everything. It's like Deb Swag Maven, she talks about, because she lives out on Long Island, she talks about where they have the Amityville house. Every so often they open it up and there's a line of people down the sidewalk. When that thing was up for sale, I would have bought that thing, and I'd have went in there and said, "Hey, ghosts,
tourize it."
You're going to have a lot of people walking through here, so if you don't like it, you need to find some other place. Because every Saturday morning about 10 o'clock, the front door would be open, and you can drop your $20 in my box as you go by and walk through this place. And if you've got a couple or so grand and want to sign this waiver saying that I'm not responsible for shit, you can rent this thing and spend the night.
Yep, that's it.
You know, it's a case where the ghosts have got to get in with the program, or they got to get the hell out.
Well, maybe they should get a house that's not actually owned.
Yeah.
Well, we have a house here in town next to me. Back in the 80s, a gentleman killed his whole family and his daughter and buried them in the garage.
Wow.
So the house, nobody bought the house for like 10 years. Well, I went by there the other day, and a guy bought the house, and it's like, the guy was out working in the yard. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "How do you know any history in this house?" He goes, some people have been trying to tell me what was going on in this house. And I'm sitting there going, do you really want to know the story? I got about 10 minutes to tell you. Oh, Ron Howard's in the house. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Hey,
Mike.
Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good.
I'm breaking
I'm gonna
up.
tell you what, the old hangouts just must have been such a resource hog, because everybody that their images and their video audio was so haphazard before. Since we've switched over to this and to Zoom, it is everybody comes in so much better.
So now that you've
And he
had
just
some
dropped
time,
Yeah.
but
I
now
did
that
Like problems with his internet, I think.
Yeah.
but Tom, now that you've had a little experience in both. What do you prefer?
Well, as soon as I get I like the duck StreamYards because I like it because it connects to Zoom really easy. I mean, not Zoom, to YouTube with the click of a button.
Nice.
Once you get it set up, I like it when you're the host of the show. You automatically get your chat from YouTube here. Whereas if you want to, like, if you're just in the group and you want to see the chat, you have to go over and pop it out of the other YouTube and bring it in.
I still do that, Tom, because that's the only way that I can make somebody a moderator and I can
Yeah.
keep an
Well,
eye on what's going on.
I have the other YouTube up in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I know who my moderators are, and I know that, especially Deb, she'll jack your ass up and put you up on blocks faster than a 1978 Chevy in Mississippi. You know, so you know, and if you, I mean, since I've spent a lot of time going out on other channels, and I'm talking about out of the reselling area channels, there's some of these people that they take their moderators real serious, and they're not there just to have a blue wrench. They're there to do a job.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to pay attention to chat, 100% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
Give me some money and all that, and I won't listen to y'all, and I'll just look at that chat and kill anybody, but, cross them out, and,
But
that's why you get like 4 or 5 people, so if you miss something, somebody gets it.
If that became a reality, just grab the popcorn and sit back because chaos will happen.
Mm-hmm. And it
That would be
happened
brutal.
it happened on Norgus' Ours channel one morning. Oh my God, that was a disaster. Oh,
What happened? Somebody bad got in there?
well, what she did was, because she was still new at the time, she put the link out in the chat.
Oh, man.
And it just blew up. We had every which thing and dongy water, hoo-ha's and hee-ha's and all jumping in. She didn't know how to turn it off. I mean, it was so bad.
it's down in Charleston. I have a lot of friends and family still down there, and at times they do filming on one of my friend's property, and once they find out that that's where it's at, they did filming for certain types of movies. They actually did some of The Walking Dead down there. I don't remember which part it was, but anyway, they said that they have people come and riding, because there's a dirt road that runs through their property where they did the filming at. At first, they were kind of pissed off about it. It's a county road, so they can't block it off or anything like that. So their grandchildren have set up a Coca-Cola stand out there. So they have coolers full of pop and sell soda
Why
to people as they drive down the road. But it's something people have to live with. We have an area called Brattonsville, which is below Rock Hill, South Carolina, and that's where they filmed all of the homestead scenes for The Patriot. Like when his children were little and they were back on his farm, that's where it was filmed at.
That'd be bad.
And okay, and they have so many people that come to, because it's a historical site, and they have so many people come in. The only reason they're there is because they know that's where they filmed The Patriot at, and they like The Patriot. And Roberta and I got married there. And
I thought. Sorry,
Hey
go ahead.
guys,
hey,
Hey,
Mike,
Mike.
it's been a long time ago. It was in the 80s. There was a movie, there was a miniseries called Chief. It was filmed in a little town below, even further below Rock Hill or below Charlotte. And they basically took over the whole town for like a summer. The storyline is there's a murderer who and this is like in the early 1900s. It starts off then. These teenage boys go missing, and it was the bad guy. They finally eventually find out who it was. But anyway, there were so many bottle blonde teenage boys walking around Chester that summer because they needed them. They were looking for people for young actors. They were also needing extras and whatnot. There was, like I said, there was a lot of bleached blonde boys walking around at that time. But they blocked off one whole street and built a scene across it. Because there were some very modern looking buildings that they couldn't use in the movie. So they just put a facade up and changed it.
What about Bob was filmed? Some of it was filmed near Virginia, but some of it was definitely filmed up in New Hampshire. So it was that some of that was actually filmed in New Hampshire. I know exactly those buildings, but yeah.
Well, of course, Days of Thunder was filmed here in Charlotte, and
there was some parts were filmed in Daytona.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they're walking down, they're riding in a boat, and the guy says, "I want that." He says, "I want to buy that property when I build a house up there."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know the guy that owns the property that they were talking about. And it's a large tract of land. It's actually on the market for about $9 million right now.
Wow. Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. So.
Yeah, I like Nicole Kidman.
I just think,
Nicole.
they really did it exactly how NASCAR was back then. That's why. They really did it true to the. So.
Yeah, rubbing is racing.
Yeah.
I'm going to run to the store real fast and get me something to drink. I'll be back. Do y'all need anything?
Yeah, I'll take a Diet Coke.
Okay.
I'll take a rum and Coke.
Nice. Well, give me a few minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. But yeah, they really had the City Chevrolet. They were the City Chevrolet. That was a real car dealership.
Yeah,
that was
a real car dealership. Yeah, now it's owned by Rick Hendrick.
Yeah, well, Rick Hendrick owned it when it was when they were making the movie. It was, but it's not called City Chevrolet anymore.
No, but he has. If you go to Hendrick Motorsports, and you go into his the display area, that City Chevrolet is like set up inside the
right. And it used to be right across the street. It was in downtown Charlotte. Mm-hmm. It was across the street from the county buildings.
Right. I'll have to send you a picture I have. I have a picture. I was flying into Charlotte one day, and I caught Charlotte Motor Speedway at 17,000 feet, and it was an awesome picture. The guy
Well,
was
you know,
pissed off that was next to me when I took the picture, but oh well.
we have what's called the Blue Line, which is a light rail that runs from South Charlotte all the way up to the university area,
Okay.
and they're wanting to connect it. It's crossing into another county, so you know they're trying to beat out the money and stuff like that, and who's going to pay for what.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they're wanting to put the Blue Line all the way up to the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Okay.
And you know there was conversation about, well, you know, that'll get rid of a lot of their parking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, parking is a big problem up there.
Right. But it's always bad.
Traffic is a big problem up there.
Mhm.
So you know, there's like, well, the good of having people come up by train
Yeah.
will be a lot better than.
Yeah. The one that really is a real pain and really, and you get stuck at is Bristol. Bristol is so bad. It's too many people. So
Have you ever been to the Darlington Speedway?
I've been to them all.
That's a killer racetrack down there.
Yeah, Darlington's awesome because you got the Darlington stripe. Because now that they reversed the track now. 1 and 2 is now 3 and 4.
Or are they?
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, there's a lot of Indy. The only one I don't particularly care for is Indy. I mean, I like going over to the Indy motor park,
Right.
because to go into the track itself, you can't see half of the track, and then but you go there and they got their half mile, they got their dirt track, they got their asphalt tracks. You know, it's just fun to go there.
Yeah, I went there in 2009 for the MotoGP and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
the place is so big. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it's just
And
nuts.
it's in an old neighborhood. You don't realize you're driving down, not compared like here, down driving in the hood, you know, or like that. And you really don't see it. It's like a big stadium where you got the walls and all that, and you go underground and all that. And like you said, you're in a neighborhood, you know.
I've not ever seen, what is it, the Grand Prix. I've never seen one live. I've seen them practicing. Back in '97,
Mm-hmm.
Roberta and I were in Australia, and they were setting up the Melbourne track,
Oh yeah, yep.
and we saw some cars practicing then. Them are
That's
some
crazy.
wicked vehicles now.
Yeah.
And those guys put the Indy guys to shame.
Yeah. That's. I don't know if you ever. There's a video on YouTube where I think they weren't at Monaco. I want to say they were in Russia, and I guess the chicane was so tight
Right.
that they couldn't get the flags out quick enough, and it was a 17-car pileup. Like everybody was pretty much on the race.
Right.
It was so bad.
Well, the only one over here that could do anything with them, I guess, was the older Andretti. He went over there and did okay.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
son went over there and got his butt kicked. and all
Yep.
that. But the guy, Roger Mansell, he came over here and won Indy. I think won the championship that year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
They tested. They were trying to get more use out of the speedway. They had a couple of races here.
Mhm. Yeah, they did
Indy
the
races here, and
Yeah,
then
they
one.
did the road course for NASCAR at Charlotte last year.
Yeah,
they had a motocross race out in the track.
they had a couple cars to crash into each other, and a tire went up into the stand and killed a couple of people.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of put a damper on that, or they're working on getting safety precautions in. But
Right.
that's a big old piece of real estate that sits up there vacant except for
That's-
a few times a year, which
well,
they have other stuff up there too. But the Christmas thing, I've heard that the Christmas thing makes more money than the daggum races do.
Wow.
because they have it all decorated up. I've never been up there because I'm old and I just don't do the traffic. When I'm sure if they ever get the light rail up there, then they'll have the thing where you can get off the train and walk into the stadium into the speedway and look around. But it's just cars after car.
Yeah. The coolest part is when you can put you in a van and they take you around the track.
Yeah.
As fast as that van can go. I mean, that's fun, but when you can pay $99 and you have somebody strapping you into a real NASCAR and going as fast as he can for five laps. Yeah.
That's what I would want to do. Those
Yeah.
double seaters.
Yeah.
Well, they have. I think they still have the Richard Petty.
Experience.
You
Yep.
can drive yourself.
Yeah, they teach you to drive, and my ex brother-in-law, he went up there and he kept getting flagged for going too fast, and he's like, "We're racing," you know.
Yeah, hello.
You're supposed to have, they're supposed to have governors on them to keep people from going faster than they want to go. So if he was going too fast, somebody to have that car set up right,
Yeah, see, Julie her husband did the Richard Petty experience at Disney.
Right.
The only thing is, I don't like the Walt Disney Speedway. I don't like it at all. It's still not. I mean, I'd rather go to Homestead. I mean, we have the Richard Petty experience up here in New Hampshire, and that's not a track I really want to go to. I mean, I go there all the time, but it's a mile and a half. It's a mile and a quarter, and it's just flat. It's like
That's why Indy is flat, pretty much.
yeah, I don't like those tracks. If I'm gonna spend the money to do the Richard Petty experience, I'm damn gonna do Daytona or Charlotte. I'm gonna do one of the big tracks because I want to get some speed.
Right. Julie said racing was different back then. It changed a lot.
Yes,
It became from it. They really got away from their base fandom, and then it got to be a social event where all the yuppies were coming in there.
Right.
And if you're a yuppie, I'm sorry, I just offended you, but it was a thing to go back to work and say, yeah, I was at the speedway for the Coca-Cola or whatever.
That's why they're broken.
They weren't there really for the fact that they enjoyed racing.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine, his dad had they used to have condos. I guess they still have them up there. They had some condos that overlooked the speedway, and it has like two bedrooms, two baths, a kitchen, a dining room, and then it has like seating for like say 25 people. I don't remember how much it was.
Okay.
And they used that for years because his dad was big into racing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the kids and the grandkids got older, their jobs took them every place.
Mm-hmm.
And so more non-family members were using it than family members were using it.
Right.
And so they put it up for sale. And they did not even, they didn't even put it up for sale. They just said that they were thinking about selling it. And the guy walked up to Mr. George and he said, "How much you want for it?" And he said, "Well, I hear they're going for like $1.3 million." And he said, he says, "I can write you a check right now." And he's like, "Well, why don't you have your people talk to my attorney and we'll do the deal."
Yeah. Bye, Maggie. Thank you. She's going to bed.
Good night, Maggie.
So, once Dale Earnhardt died, the whole racing community has changed. I
don't know anybody that's racing now because all the people that I watched.
Yep.
They've retired.
Yep. Exactly.
Or they've been killed in wrecks and helicopter crashes and stuff like that.
Yeah. My boy, 1993, Alan Kowicki. The Polish that's the Polish victory lap. Number 7 when he died, man, that hurt. He was a very smart driver. And have you ever even gone down Speedway Road to go and see, at least just go into some of the shops, just the shop road? Oh man.
No.
Just go, each one is like here's one on the left, here's one on the right, go down another 2 miles, here's another rate, and you walk in there and you're like, oh my god, like.
But some other places like Fort Knox, I had a
Yeah.
customer that worked with one of them. You always try to call them and say, why don't you call us back? And said, well, I work at a NASCAR shop and they take our phones from us, so it's really hard for me to call you. And then I was talking to another guy that worked at Tony Stewart. It was easy to get hold of him, but he said, it depends on what part of the job you have. You don't even talk to your wife,
I had a neighbor when I lived down in Rock Hill that he was a Dale Earnhardt fan.
Yep.
And when he was killed, I thought, I actually had to call Chris's dad and say, hey, dude, you got to come down here and see about Chris because he's falling apart because of this race car driver. I'm not, and don't take that wrong, I hate when anybody is killed or dies or anything like that. But I guess I'm just a hard ass. I really don't get too wrapped up into this kind of stuff, these celebrities. Right. And his dad came down there and he took him back to his house, and he was like, he called me a couple of days later and he says, I think I'm gonna have to take him down there and take him to talk to somebody, he says, because I really don't know what's going to be going on about this race car driver.
Yep.
And like I said, I understand when people, when my mom had friends when Elvis died, that they were just about went hysterical, Yeah. So it's not just race car driving; it's all of it. But he was hysterical about him getting killed.
Julie, I was at New Hampshire when that happened, and that's why my youngest is named after Adam Petty. My kids are named after the Pettys in general. And the worst part about it was that Kyle's son, Adam's dad, wasn't even there. He was with his daughter doing something with horses because she rode horses. So he had to get a phone call from Adam's.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, imagine that. You're sitting there, your son's racing at New Hampshire, and this is why they made the change where they put the jets, they put the braided wire on the jets now, because that's what happened. It broke off. It got stuck in the float, and the butterfly valve got stuck. So when he came around turn 3, it was the throttle was stuck open, and he just went full bore into the side of the wall. So,
dang, Mike must do rich people's work.
He did raw iron fences and all that stuff for like a lot of big things. He probably signed a lot of non-disclosure agreements, I bet. I think he was saying.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about the houses you work on or go in and all that.
Right.
You just do it. You go, yeah, okay, and walk out the door.
Yeah.
We
you probably can mention names, but he can't, or probably a lot of things you can't mention about it.
Right. I've learned that because I have another the same when I did the Golden Wheels with the Power Wheels, I got another contract with them now, so waiting to see what we're gonna do next.
You need to get on Dale Earnhardt's show and message him, hey, you want to be part of a Hot Wheels race one Friday night?
I know, really.
We'll donate a card.
That's it. I was talking to someone last night. His Hot Wheels Masters. He's got 13,000 subs, and I was gibba-gabba with him last night. And he goes, you know what? If you need anything, just PM me. And I'm like, oh, cool. All right, yeah, because he gets cases every week from Mattel. So I'm like, damn, He says you just have to work on them. He says you can get through it. It's just you have to keep on doing what you're doing. He really appreciated. He liked the channel. So
I don't remember which one of the racers it is, but one of the racers has this thing. It's an animal welfare group. It's called Rescue Ranch up near Statesville, and my next door neighbor's daughter is the manager of that. Ryan
Newman?
the Newmans, Ryan and Christy Newman.
yeah,
They're the ones that run it, or they're the ones that fund it. And she says Stacy says they are the nicest, finest people you could ever meet.
well, I know. Kyle's got the Victory Junction game. That's up in where is that now? I wanted to say Kannapolis. It's not Kannapolis. Level Cross. That's an amazing place.
It's like a big camp, right?
Yeah.
Ranch camp or something. Or
Yeah, it's for special needs children. Amazing place. It's huge.
Well, Mike, when I get ready to build my mansion, you'll be one of the first people I call.
When Queen City Picker gets his 1,000,000th subscriber, you will be invited.
I've watched some of these people talking about how much they make off of like 1 million views on some of these videos and stuff like that. They don't make squat.
Nope.
I think you got to turn them out. You got to turn out a lot of those 1 million views to make really good money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, my wife she likes K-pop music,
Okay.
and the number one YouTube channel has 100 million subscribers, and it's one of the K-pop
Singers.
companies. They're a company that does all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's
I mean,
almost,
the music and the promotions and all that kind of stuff.
it's almost like PewDiePie. Ugh.
Yeah, he's like at 72 million, and they're like 100 million. But yeah, no, I would not count on I would not be counting on my YouTube money to build my mansion.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're in Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
Well, you know that they have all those little cracker boxes over there on the coast.
Oh yeah.
The summer homes.
Gamma Homes. Yep. They're still there. Yeah.
Well, we have Biltmore here,
Okay.
and it's huge. It's like the largest private residence in America. Even though the guy that founded one of the timeshare deals, they built this 100,000 square foot thing down in Florida. And they say it's the largest private residence because if they ever finish it, it will be a private residence, whereas Biltmore is.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the Villages?
Who?
The Villages?
No. They did the big timeshare hotel things. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biltmore Christmas is really amazing. Julie said, Biltmore Christmas is really amazing. And they do. They really go all out for Christmas time. They'll start decorating in October because it takes them that long. Michelle is on twice.
I mean, the coolest thing that was that we had was the America's Cup races. So we did have racing in Rhode Island. It's just sailboat racing.
Do they still have it?
No, we lost it in '83.
So whoever has the cup is the one that hosts the race.
Exactly.
well, to me, I remember watching a little bit of that. What sucked about that is when they went to the catamarans.
Yeah.
Sailboat. You can't race a Ferrari against a NASCAR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and all that. So I mean, and I remember even the regular sailboats when you had was it Dennis Conner or whatever.
The 12 meters. Yep.
You know, the keels were special. I mean, it was worse than NASCAR. They were like, you know, top secret, you know,
Well, that's
buildings.
That's why the Australians won. They added a winged keel, and nobody ever figured that to keep the balance of the boat that
Right.
better. So,
But when they put a catamaran in there, it was a joke. I mean, it's like like I said, a Ferrari, and then like I said, a NASCAR. That's two different races.
Yeah.
Do they still allow catamarans in the America's Cup, or has everybody gone to catamarans?
everybody does whatever it is now. It's like
You know?
I think what's happening with the America's Cup is it's falling apart, and the
Right.
Volvo race is becoming even bigger.
Do it like Le Mans 24. You just have different categories. Have a catamaran group,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have a regular group.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the GT3s, the GT2s, and the
Right.
GT1s. Yep. So,
It's I was watching this thing, or we were watching this thing on TV on YouTube, and they were running some like 1964 Ferraris
okay.
against some like 2012 Focus, and the Focus was running all over them because of the
That's
way the
crazy.
technology is now on automobiles and the amount of horsepower they can get out of an engine.
So yeah, they that's why I like the one race I really enjoy watching is what is it, the island of Mantiti?
Oh yeah, oh man, yeah, I want to go to that so bad. I remember one of my customers went to it, and after the race was over, they had it open to the public. So if you had a motorcycle endorsement license, you
Yeah.
can get a bike and you do a little test, and they'll let you ride the course before they
That-
open it up back to the public. But those
That-
guys are going so fast. They're going. It's like GP racing on a track on
Yep.
regular streets.
Yeah.
They're going like 200 plus miles an hour.
200, and they're like an inch away from a tree.
Right. Going over mountains, or in a neighborhood. You're going through like a regular neighborhood.
Yep.
You know,
Back in 1978, I had the opportunity to drive a Turbo Esprit. What was that thing? What a Fiat.
A Turbo Esprit,
Yeah, it was a Turbo Esprit, but it's something else. A Lotus.
a Lotus.
A Lotus
Esprit.
Turbo Esprit.
Yeah.
Like I said, my uncle had that service station. Then when he got tired of all the traffic and everything, he built a building, and he had a garage out in the country. And one of the farmers around there, his wife wanted a fancy sports car, so he had this Lotus brought into South Carolina from New York, where half the roads that she drove on were sandy dirt roads. Okay.
Oh, man.
Anyway, she let it get away from her one time, and she ended up tearing a front wheel loose. So he had to repair it, and we happened to be down there that weekend, and he said, "You want to go deliver that thing for me?" And I said, "Is it okay?" He said, "Sure." I knew where it had to go. He says, "Your daddy and I'll be there behind you to pick you up." And I said, "Well, why aren't you driving it?" He says, "Because my feet are too big." Because the clutch, brake pedals are right beside each other.
Mhm.
And he said, so when I would shift, I would hit the clutch.
Oh, man.
And so I drove it over there, and I said, "Well, I'm not going down the dirt road. I'm scared it'll get away from me." And he said, "You're lying. You want to get on the paved road so you can see what you'll do."
So I know. I think that's the same year that that was the Bond model, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He had a Lotus
it
Esprit.
looked sort of like a little pickup truck. It had the flat back end on it.
Yep.
And boy, that bitch would fly. I mean, it would get on. You could get on the road, and we're talking flat. There's no hills down there. You could crank that sucker up. But like I said, if you had the man that bought it for his wife, he never drove it because he had big wide feet too, and so he never drove it. And he said, that's a girl's car. And because they have little feet. But it would fly. It was loud too.
I know Mike's talking about those helmets. I remember the Bandit helmet. If that's the one I'm thinking of, the Simpson helmet, Glenn.
Oh, the one cookie cutter mouthpiece, like the
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Yeah, those weren't the safest helmets because when you crash, it was like a cookie cutter.
yeah.
The round one is the one you wanted because when you did crash, it didn't make like you said, a cookie cutter.
Yep.
I wore a Simpson motocross helmet. They had dirt bike helmets.
Yeah.
That was my first full face helmet.
Yeah.
That's the only one I don't have. I have every helmet I ever wore
Really?
except for the my Simpson.
Mm-hmm. So,
We used to go riding down on this piece of land that my uncle had access to down in Horry County, and there was one spot that the sand they've actually, we hadn't looked at it, but people from the University, Coastal Carolina, had actually looked at it under the microscopes, and the sand are actually round,
okay.
like tiny
Pebbles.
pebbles.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd run up in the middle of that thing, and my brother and I had two pieces of motorcycles. I had a 175 Yamaha, and he had this Harley Davidson dirt bike, and
That'd be fun.
they were ragged out. We
Yeah, I
got,
was gonna say, yeah.
we got them for nothing, and we rode the hell out of them anyway. And my cousin Stacy, he had like a Honda 80. So we would go riding, and my dad and my uncle would follow us in their. They had one of those international pickup trucks that looks like a little Jeep thing.
International Scouts.
Yeah, Scout.
Yeah.
They would follow us, and he said, "Now, when you get down here, he says you want to go through." He says, "You want to go down through that stretch of white sand." He said, "It'll give you a ride like you've never seen before." Well, we're going flying down through there, and all of us. And I looked in my mirror and I saw I could tell my uncle had slammed on brakes before he got to it, because when we hit that sand,
Mm-hmm.
it was like quicksand.
It just dropped right in. Yep.
And you could sit there and run the back tires. You could run the back tire, wind the back tires up,
And that's
and
why-
it would just shoot that stuff out behind you. And you just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mhm.
And so we stopped, and my uncle had to pull us out with the Scout. He said, "There's been full-size 4-wheel drive pickup trucks that's gone in that second. They've gone down to the bottom of the truck."
Unless you're at full speed where you're riding on top of it, you're gonna sink.
Right, exactly. But the if you had a Harley, that was the AMF ones, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I just knew it was a Harley, like 125 or something of that sort. It was a lot of fun.
What's this, mid-70s?
Do I?
No, I think it was earlier than that. Like
It
early.
was, no, well, we were. Would you bring me a glass of tea?
I will when I get back from going outside for a water jet.
Actually, bring me one of those Dr. Peppers.
Oh, did you get my drinks?
No, not a Dr. Pepper. Bring me a Diet Coke. Thank you. Sorry, I had to
Yeah.
place an order with since Michelle didn't bring me my Diet Coke.
I couldn't drink a Coke just like
So
that.
sorry.
Wired.
How about a tall boy Coke?
It would have been in the 80s.
Yeah, so that was the AMF ones then.
Yeah, it was. We sold that thing. We sold both of them because we had girlfriends and just didn't.
Kawasaki had a 175. I don't remember one.
No, I had a Yamaha.
Oh, Yamaha.
Or was it Kawasaki? It was a Yamaha. Yeah, the Harley Davidson we traded. My uncle got it from somebody, and we traded him 100 cedar poles about 12 inches long and about 3 inches in diameter for it. And the other one, I went, and my dad had a land surveying business. So when we were cutting property lines, when we'd find cedar poles, we would whack them up and then go back and get them.
Yeah.
The other one, I went and flagged some guy's corners on this property, and he gave it to me. The Yamaha, and we had the best time with them. Didn't cost much of anything. laid them down so many times. Started across branches that my uncle would say, "Oh, it's fine. You can make it through there." And we'd go riding through there. And the next thing we know is, our heads are underwater. So he would pull us back out. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, we really, truly had a lot of fun with it. We didn't do anything competitive with it. We just got out and rode and that type of thing. Good times.
That was it. That was the best thing. I mean, I never competed, but just getting out there, and we were using the local dump around here, but man, we would just go out and just go with it and have a blast. And who knew what we dumped ourselves into back then? But man, it was fun.
Yeah, my brother sponsored or was one of the sponsors of a guy that worked for him. He did the motorcycle racing, like on asphalt tracks.
Yeah.
Boy, you talk about an expensive hobby.
Oh yeah, that's big time money.
I mean,
well, Gas Glenn, you sell a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
don't
dirt
you?
bikes, man. We did basically KT. We do KTM dirt bikes, but mainly I do parts. I don't do bikes now.
Okay.
So, man, my type of racing, you could come in and buy a bike from me, show up to Outdoor Natural if you have the credentials. But you can't go to the Ford dealership and buy a car and show up to NASCAR. But in my business, you can. You can come to my shop and buy a bike.
Yeah.
Put a couple, accessories on it and show up to Outdoor National. Now, my sport, what do you call it? The AMA Pro Racing as far as enduros.
Yeah.
You can get on the line with a pro rider and be a beginner. It's all mixed up. So if you can keep up with that pro rider and get scored every time he gets scored, you might win the race, or you finish second behind him.
Right.
But like the motocross and supercross, those bikes, the top bikes are probably $200,000 or more. Everything's
Of course.
special stuff, and even the big GNC races, those bikes are still probably a $20,000 bike, but it's more closer to what the average Joe can get.
Right. That's why they always say when you see him come out, like when Ricky Carmichael came out, I want that bike. You ain't gonna get that exact bike. You could get as close as you can, but
there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff like I said on the bike. A lot of time they'll give them the championship bike once, but they'll give them a replica bike even for their personal use. There's sports on there they don't want the general public to get that equipment. Even tires. I know a guy down in Florida. One of the shops down there sponsored certain riders. Well, they had some old tires in the back, and he said, "Yeah, you just go get a couple old tires." Or he grabbed a couple that were semi-used and all that, and he said, "You took the wrong tires. So can you bring them back?" And he said, "Oh, I've already used them and all that." I said, "Well, you never got them from here." Like special Dunlop tires and all that, on the race bike.
Now, here's a question for you, because I know a lot of people ask me, says, could you cut the tread on the tires or no?
In motocross, they did it. Yeah, I've been at Supercross. They had like these tire, they start off with a basic tire sometimes, but they'll find like the tire guy be out there and so the tire's not doing this. They might do a special cut just for that rider, and then the next tire goes almost this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were allowing that anymore. That's why.
I think they still do it. I've seen it done before. Like it's been like 15 years ago or more than that. Probably closer to 20. I saw it done, but they do it at like dirt track races too. Even more so.
Right. Let me jump in here a second. How you doing, Snobby? What are you doing up? Isn't it like 5 o'clock in the morning your time?
Hello, Tom. I've just got off of a 4-hour stream.
A 4-hour stream.
So you're in Australia?
No, he's
UK.
in
UK.
And I just thought I'd just check out who's out there, and you came up first, so I thought I'd just come in and say hello. I won't stay for too long. I don't want to interfere with all your chat and everything, but I appreciate you giving me the link.
Cool.
Anytime.
Just like hello, everybody.
Snobby, you haven't met Michelle. Michelle, this is Snobby.
Hello, nice to meet you. Is that zombie with a Z?
Snobby.
Snobby. That's what I thought, but I thought he said zombie.
You turn the bees down and be Snoopy.
I did.
Yeah, Michelle lives. You're 2 hours behind me, right?
Yes.
She's 2 hours behind us, so and you're 5 hours ahead of me. So
Jeez.
So
Yeah,
so
Your
I'm in
cat
Albuquerque,
are asking tonight.
Mexico. And there's a girl I met last night. She's from England and she's here for a 3-year job. And it's been raining. And I said, so does it feel like home? She said, it's just too damn hot over there. So usually that's our complaint, but we've got rain like crazy.
Mhm.
Well, what part of the UK are you in? You like Isle of Man, or Britain?
I'm not very far from London.
Okay.
I did manage to get onto your live stream earlier, but I just entered as you were shutting it down.
Okay, I thought I remember seeing your name in there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right at the very end. Literally
you-
right at the very end. You were saying
Yeah.
all you could please.
Marie Peralt is going to ask you, do I have to go on a computer to do the StreamYard thingy? Yeah, you do, because it's still the phone is very wanky. It's really bad. So
I've tried a couple of times to get on a chicken picker's stream, but she's obviously not aware of me and doesn't know me.
So what
I'll
kind
make
of
sure she
stuff do you-
does. Well, she
So-
was on the
Yeah.
show the other night. I mean, so
Mhm.
I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff do you sell? So do you go by Snobby?
Yeah,
Or-
you can call me what you like.
Okay.
Call me what you like.
His wife is Dusty Blonde.
Okay.
I heard her calling him some names the other night that I don't think he wants us to call him. She's real
Yeah.
nice too.
Yeah, lovely.
She's a lovely lady. Were
So,
you on with Raphael and those fellas tonight, or were you with somebody else?
I was with Raphael earlier on. There weren't a great deal happening. I was a bit tired earlier on. And then there's a new couple that have just started off on StreamYard. They found it difficult to get it done on their computer and so on. And finally they've done it. And yeah, they love it now. Just spent 4 hours with them.
Right.
It weren't popular. There weren't many people in the chat, half a dozen. And it was just me and them as a couple.
I
Yeah.
listen to a lot. Me and Peter Ray talk a lot.
Yeah.
You know Peter?
Yeah, I like his car posters of Steve McQueen on the back of his wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I was on. I joined the chat that he was in. Snobby was in, and there was a guy from Denmark. That's where Raphael lives now, isn't it? Denmark.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there was a guy. I'm assuming he was in Ireland because he was very Irish. And then Snobby. And then the time before that, it was Raphael and Snobby and a guy from Australia. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they all talk funny.
Who was
Whatever.
the guy from Australia? Was it Rod?
No, it was Gaffer.
Okay.
But it's been fun talking and
Yeah.
hanging out with them.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's a
glad you
privilege to come up here.
do I.
I feel privileged to actually come up here, and you let me come up. Oh, it's a privilege.
Hey, I have no problem because I have a button over here I can send anybody out.
Yeah,
And
as long as
you know,
every-
I'd like for people to come and go because that's where I can meet new people. You know, it's not,
absolutely.
and the people that come in, they're not seeing the same group of people all the time. So Jess Pamela was in the chat a little bit earlier, and I gave her the link. She must have been busy, but Jess Pamela, she's from Canada.
I thought she was from New York.
No, she's from Canada.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's just Pamela's from Canada. So, oh man, the crime rate has got. Yeah, Mike, the crazy card. He said London. Oh man, the crime rate has skyrocketed. He has heard.
Yeah, it's I don't there's a lot of things. There's a lot of problems, I suppose.
Right.
You
Hey,
know,
Marie.
I don't want to sort of go into it too deep.
Are you guys getting feedback?
Are we what?
You're a little choppy, Marie.
I'm not getting any feedback.
I'll put it on mute.
Okay, he muted the stereo.
Okay. How are you tonight, Marie?
I'm good. I just wanted to see if I could do this off my phone.
It's just a little choppy, like I said. That's usually what happens with the when you're on your phone.
Well, I thought I would test it because I'm actually hooked to my Wi-Fi.
That's cool.
It might take it a minute to get synced.
Yeah, and well, with StreamYard too, Tom. They're still stating that it's not. They were never set to be on a mobile device. It was only supposed to be computer based. So that's what they're working on. Because I had about a half an hour meeting with them on online the other day, and they want to work so hard to get this thing going to 100%. So,
you know,
all right, there is actually two of us. See us?
Okay.
Hey.
There is actually two of us.
All right.
We are real.
Yeah.
How's it going, Glenn?
I'm good, man.
We see you in the chat all the time, and it's like, okay, who's who?
So there are two of us.
Okay.
I'm Marie. This is Justin.
What's up, Dustin?
Justin with the J.
I don't have teeth in.
Gotcha.
Now I can put a face to the names. I see all.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
And have y'all met Snobby?
No. This is the first time I've ever seen him.
Hello.
I think this is the first time I've actually been live with any of you.
And didn't y'all do a yard
Except for
sale
Glenn.
a month ago? You know,
Yeah. So here, everybody ready to flip around?
Go ahead.
Oh wait, I gotta turn my camera. How do I do that?
Just turn the phone around.
Give me my shoes.
The little
Turn
button.
the phone around.
My sheets.
I remember seeing a yard sale. And it's like
This is why I have children.
You get your shoes. So we're actually doing a yard sale right now
Oh, cool.
in the
Wow.
backyard this time.
Okay.
Where are you at?
So
What time is it
that
there?
flat screen TV. It is just 5:09. It's like 8:40.
Okay. So
So
you're
Yard sale
that
going up.
flat screen TV right there. That flat screen
Give me
TV
that
right
so
there.
I can see the chat.
I got for free.
Wow.
You do this, I'll do that.
Oh, you can do it.
Are y'all in California?
That's why I have children or a husband. So we got that from the estate sale. Some guy brought it back, said it didn't work. Works just fine. It's the only spot he could find it was eBay for like $80 only.
Yeah.
It works fine.
See on it and see if we can get rid of it.
I don't know
that's
if
what
you
it
see
is.
that. Crazy stereo equipment. He finds places. Because it rains here like sporadically, most of the tables are covered. This is our backyard, Glenn, not our front yard where you saw it before.
okay.
Yes, that's a swimming pool. My neighbor guy brought me these tires. The Mustang ones have 2,500 miles on them. It's a 2014. He just got it. It's crazy.
So you
yeah,
run a
we're doing the
flea
backyard.
market in your backyard?
Yeah, it looks like you got a
Pretty much. My front yard. Yeah, something like that. Those are all that's all my books.
like 4 ease ups or 5 ease
What
ups.
state are you in?
we're in Longview, Washington. We're
Oh, okay.
5 minutes from Rainier, Oregon, or about 45 minutes to an hour from Portland, Oregon.
Well, how far?
Depending on how fast I can drive, about 3 hours from Seattle.
How far are you from Washougal?
Depends on traffic.
Washougal's about a little over an hour.
Okay, they had a big
Yeah.
race up there today. You know, like, I've been there
Yeah.
before, but like I said, it's a practice day, but they had an outdoor national today out there. I would have loved been there. That's one of the
Oh,
best races to go to in the country when it comes to outdoor national.
up here is really awesome.
Yeah.
But as you see, that's a cedar tree.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah, they got trees on that track, you know, on the hills.
Yeah.
The bikes ride next to, and this is just huge trees.
Yeah, we got tons of mountains. Where
And it rains a lot.
so it does rain a lot compared to
I
where
have
a lot of
friend that
you
lives
live.
in Seattle. I have a friend that lives in Seattle, and she talks. She
Okay,
bitches about it raining all the time.
It rains up there more than it does right where we're at.
Yeah. The running joke around here that rains 9 months of the year.
It's cloudy 9 months of the year. This
Yeah.
morning it rained enough to get the ground wet, and that was it. It
But my
doesn't
friend,
it doesn't actually rain 9 months of the year.
she bitches about the rain, but she loves Seattle. She wouldn't move away for nothing. But every time I talk to her, how's it doing? It's frickin'. Only she didn't say frickin'. Raining again. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
I'm like, well, move.
We're that way too. But yesterday it was almost 90 degrees, and we're all like, "Okay, we're too hot. Like, what happened to 80?" That's our comfortable.
But my friend
So,
is
yeah.
originally from Texas,
Yeah.
the dry
Well,
part of
it's
Texas.
cloudy. It's cloudy up here 9 months of the year. It's not necessarily, and it's not like a heavy rain. It's like it just rains.
Y'all don't really get snow. Y'all just get cold weather, huh?
Yeah.
No, we get snow. It depends.
We get snow. We get a little bit of snow most years, not more than a couple inches usually.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Where we're at.
what's that sign say on the ceiling?
The one right above her says
It was
"Enter
something like
night."
kiss
It's,
or something.
Oh, this one.
It's a
I can't. This
Oh,
one.
that's a radio
It's a
station.
radio,
Radio
station.
station.
Wait. Yes. So they throw a huge concert up in Auburn every summer. We went a couple summers ago. So at the Metallica concert in Seattle a couple years ago, that radio station gave me that.
Oh.
And then when we went to Metallica in Portland in December, I scalped that off a guy after the concert. That
you
my
say
husband didn't even
Metallica?
know I did.
Metallica.
We did. We saw him twice. We saw him up in Seattle a couple years ago. We saw him in December in Portland, which is only like 45 minutes away from us. Next weekend, we're going to see Zombie, Disturbed, Manson, In This Moment.
As in Marilyn Manson?
Yes. Again, I've already seen him once.
You
Or
ever
we've
hear,
already seen him once.
you ever hear Disturbed sing a song? Was it Sound of
Sound
Silence?
of Silence. Yeah.
And they killed that song. You know, they made it.
Yeah. I like some of their songs, but I mostly got the tickets for what's the other band?
Rob Zombie.
In This Moment.
Right.
No, so Manson and Zombie are playing together. Disturbed and In This Moment are playing together, and Justin really likes In This Moment,
Okay.
and they're back to back.
Okay.
So we're going for 2 days for 2 concerts.
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking at, like an interview of Disturbed, and I guess the main singer, he said, "Yeah, I'm classical trained." in
Yeah,
music."
you can hear it in his voice.
They're actually classical trained compared to most groups. You know.
Metallica. How long did it take them to get out on the stage with their walkers? Because them guys should be old now.
They're not
20
that
About
old.
20 minutes.
They're
They were okay. And then they had to take a break. They had to
And,
take a break. Both concerts.
It's like what's his name? Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones.
That's a
like,
different,
You
that's
know,
a
when
different
they
story.
do a
That's-
concert, it's
in
like
That
They
70s.
rolling him out in the
they come out there with
Yeah.
the walkers. Because they've got to
Comes
be.
out the guitar strapped down. He's dragging it because he
That's
can't get
right.
off the stage.
They've got roadies hanging, walking behind them, holding them up. While they can walk out straight.
The next
How
time,
old How old is Mick Jagger now? He's got to be.
he's 71.
Is that all?
Yeah, no, he's older now, I think.
But yeah, they the next thing it's going to be come and see the Rolling Stones and Marionettes.
They were, they were supposed to play about a month ago during that hurricane. They had to cancel it in New Orleans.
The
Yeah,
scooters. They'll all be on scooters coming out there.
it's almost like if you remember the Touch of Grey video from the Grateful Dead when they have the Marionettes playing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the Rolling Stones next year.
I mean, a friend of mine's wife was talking to her daughter about what was the first boy band way back under the 80s.
New Kids on the Block.
Yes, she was a big New Kids on the Block fan. Because she'd have been about their age.
The Boys to Men are playing up here like in the next couple of days.
Yeah, but that's not a boy band.
That's
They
a bunch
were
of old
boy-
guys.
Oh well, I guess it was only two. Yeah.
But
Three of them, and they were an a cappella group. They weren't a boy band.
Yeah.
they
I thought the Beatles
she
were
got
the
out
original boy
all
band.
her posters and things and was showing to her daughter, and she's like, "Oh, they're cute," and she said, "Yeah, they're going to be in concert." And her daughter's like, "In concert? They must be 100 years old now."
Jesus.
Because they're doing this return.
New Union tour.
Most
Yeah.
of them all have kids and they go on concert on a tour with their kids now.
Yeah.
Remember, they started they only started 25 minutes away from me. They're from Boston, so they're not that far away. And I remember when they started, when they were the biggest thing up around here. Like, ooh, these kids, ooh. I didn't care. I was sitting there at the Monsters of Rock concert in '86, and these kids, oh, look at New Kids on the Block. Oh my god.
They were just here not that long ago too.
My a boy I went to high school with, he has a sister that came along in his parents' life late. Like there's about 17 years difference between the two of them. So
No,
when
thank
when Menudo was hitting the circuit, she was a big Menudo fan. So he would take her. They would drive to Atlanta, or he would fly them to New York, so she could see him in concert. And
who was one of the original Menudo stars?
Ricky something or other.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Yep, Ricky Martin. Yep.
But she was big into it, and he would fly her all over the place and get the meet and greet things for her. He would spend a fortune on that little girl, and she just thought they were the cutest thing. She did learn to speak Spanish because of them.
Well, they're kind of like
Hold on, guys.
boy band group,
But
Yeah,
Ricky
That's the newest concert I've been to.
Was that?
Chris Lane and Brad Paisley. That was. Oh my God! Why are you carrying that?
What was the
I'm gonna
last
kick your
concert I
butt.
went to?
I figured out how to flip my camera.
My last concert I
guys.
went to was Dolly Parton at the old Coliseum, Charlotte Coliseum,
Right.
and it was when she had the
I can't
album
tell
come
if
out where
you
she's
see it.
wearing the red checkerboard shirt that was tied up under her boob.
Mhm.
That's
Is it-
the last concert I went to.
Is that a reverse paint mirror on the top?
It is. Somebody just told me that. I got it at an estate auction.
Nice.
It's 1940 something.
Yep.
1840 something.
1847. The reverse paint on the top. So
Yep.
yes, Tom, I do.
I knew I
do
knew
know
I
something more
found
than
a
that
good
in
mirror.
Hot
I
Wheels.
just didn't know what it was.
What
What
did
did you say, Derek?
I said I do know more than Hot Wheels. I do know
Okay.
other.
Hey, I never doubted that. Deb, are you still in the chat, or have you gone to bed?
She's going to bed.
No,
I
no,
have a
not your
question.
Deb. Swag.
I have a question
Sure.
for the
Go ahead.
panel. I have a
Okay.
1988 Ford Mustang rear window glass, clean, clear.
Okay.
What is the best way to sell it?
eBay Motors.
eBay's or Facebook Marketplace under
Yeah.
when the Mustang groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Then you wouldn't have to worry about shipping it. Because word would get out probably because that group is the whole United States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they'll probably one of them will probably buy it just to have it in their
In their
just
stock?
keep it, have one in stock.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll do both Facebook Marketplace for the Mustang groups and like eBay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Resume the regular proceedings.
So,
Can't
Snobby,
get a word in edgeways.
what is one of your hobbies, Snobby?
Sorry?
What is one of your hobbies?
I would say probably fishing.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, probably
Like that.
fishing. But to the question before that about the concert, my last concert that I went to was a Madonna one in Wembley Stadium.
Oh,
Oh, I want to go to one of hers. Madonna.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Madonna.
No,
Okay.
thank you.
I have a list that I want to go to.
My wife Dusty, right? She's grown up being an absolute avid Madonna fan.
Okay.
I mean, and she doesn't obviously come to the UK much, but when she does do a concert, she's just recently done one, but it weren't a concert. It was some other type. It was different. It's not what the missus wanted anyway.
Right.
But to go to her concert, Madonna, she can put a show on, that's for sure.
Go ahead.
They're changing. They try to change to be with what's current.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
she
she
went to
has
the
a-
Palladium, like up London, and
Right.
it was very limited audience and stuff like that, and hand-picked people, as it were. Whereas Wembley Stadium was like 90,000 people.
Right.
Well, they were showing a concert of Nick and Andre Hills. I guess they were putting them walking, but I can't think of the guy, who sung it, the song, but a couple individual, not the Doors. But I guess it was about 6 months ago. It was in Winterman Stadium. And then they went to it and all that, but I can't think of the name. He's always wearing a T-shirt sometime in his videos and all that sometime.
That's the thing about the music this day, and I'm probably going to piss off some people, which I do that very often. But the girls now that are singing, they all sound alike. They don't have a distinct sound to them.
Yes.
Like the two girls, the young girls, well, they're not young anymore, that had the battle going. Taylor Swift and the other Taylor Swift, but she's not Taylor Swift. Anyway, I can't tell that. I say, oh, is that Taylor Swift singing that? And my son, who was big into music, would go, no, that is the other girl. And, back when I was young, and even up into the 80s, and the singers had a distinct sound to them.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays first of all, they're all auto-tuned to death.
Yeah.
And and when they're doing concerts, they're not even really. They don't always sing. A lot of times there's lip syncing to recordings.
Right.
But it's like Madonna and Cher and Bette Midler and all of those. They all had, even Nikki. What's her name? She was Stevie Nicks.
Right.
They all had a sound. They all had a distinct sound to them. But like I said, nowadays it doesn't matter whether they're R&B or whether they're pop. They just kind of all sound alike.
That's why I listen to country hip hop. Listen to little Moonshine Bandits. That's what I listen to.
Well,
So I tease
This
I
guy,
tease Marie
this
all the
guy on the
time.
bottom here. Sorry. This guy on the bottom here. I can't quite see him, but it looks like he's got a little bit of a beard, a bit like mine.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I'm sort of
Oh,
a
you
little
mean,
bit.
you mean Justin?
That's Justin.
is that a little better?
Oh, that's a lot better. And your name's Justin, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Justin.
Right.
He goes
and
by
my wife's
Marie
Marie.
also.
We almost look like brothers.
There you
Almost,
go.
huh?
Oh, Jesus.
So where's Scott?
So,
Scott the beater picker when you need him in here.
Really,
Yeah.
exactly.
so I tease Marie all the time that today's country sounds like 90s R&B.
Yeah. That's why I listen to country hip hop. I don't know if you've heard of it, with Moonshine Bandits, the Lax, and stuff like that. It's great.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah, but maybe.
We,
Hey, Land Shark, how's it going?
my wife's car has
Craig,
Sirius XM in it.
Broadfield, buddy.
She has Sirius
What was
XM in her car. So when I'm driving her car, I always turn it over to the Bluegrass channel and
Yeah.
just totally piss my sons off. They're like, "Do we have to listen to that?" I said, "Okay, we're going to go to 54." And they're like, "Oh my God, not this guy."
Hey, Craig, you're still
I listen
awake?
to
You're
mostly
still
hard
awake?
rock
I thought
No.
the nursing home had turned everything off on you.
I get in my car. I don't even have the radio on. Between my kids and my husband, it drives me crazy. I just turn it down.
So guys, I'm gonna take off. Great meeting you, Snobby, and meeting you, Justin and Marie.
Good to
All
see
right,
you
so I'll
again.
Thank you, Glenn.
Everybody
See you
soon.
later, Glenn.
See everybody.
Glenn.
All right,
Well,
fine.
mate. Bye for
Bye.
now.
But it's
Tom,
like I
I
said,
get,
ma'am.
Tom, I get in my mom's vehicle, and every day she has it on Rush Limbaugh. And I keep
Oh,
telling her it's rotting her brain. Like too much candy.
Michelle is our token Democrat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm like,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know.
sides kind of with the Democrats, but not always.
So you're an
Just saying.
independent. You're an independent then.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm sharing it
registered
really to pick on
independent.
Tom.
I'm registered independent.
There you go.
but Michelle is she's
'Cause
our
I'm like,
advocate Democrat, and we love her still.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have we don't. MFR Productions has a show.
So
called
Michelle, what is your username on YouTube?
Me?
Michelle Clark. I don't have a fancy username. I don't produce content. I just sit on the coattails of Tom, and no, I like what Valerie has done in her little community for the Tick Picker group, and so I just kind of come on and kind of hang about. I don't really, I don't know, cling to it is not really the right phrase, but I gravitate to it when I'm doing reselling stuff. So it's fun to jump on and fun to be part of the political group, because it's kind of fun to do a little trash talking, and we have plenty to trash with the president we have, and so
I stay away from that.
yeah. Sometimes I stay away from it too, because it can get the group that and Kathy and Marcel, I think they do a great group. It's just hard not to get excited and passionate when you are talking with non-like-minded people. So,
I have that problem.
Marcel and Kathy have a show, and it's called MFR Productions, and
Yeah.
it is a friendly political show.
I stay out of it.
Be nice, be nice to everybody, because it respects everybody's view and opinions, and
but everybody on there, they're resellers, and they have a passion, but they also do really good content, or they have good sales. They have interesting things. They're not a bunch of whiners in that, wah wah, my eBay sales suck, dot dot dot. They're actively engaged in their own business, and I like that more than the political stuff or
Right.
Right.
they
Well,
sell
yeah.
they share good info.
That's the reason I thought Thursday night and tonight, I just let's just turn it on and see what happens, because I get tired of talking reselling all the time, and but I'm being fussed at by my executive producer in the chat. We said no politics or sex. But anyway,
No sex? What is this?
What?
Hey,
No.
keep
I
it
didn't
PG.
sign on for that agreement.
Uh,
Grab your
keep it PG for
Derek in the
the
chat. Grab
for
that.
the family.
Grab what?
Yeah. Derek, I have a toy to show you. Can you tell me what it is?
Your executive
Maybe.
producer should be on the panel.
Excuse me.
Your executive producer
Oh shoot!
should be on the panel.
Highlight it if I can see it, Tom.
I hate this damn phone. Do I?
Your executive
Highlight it so I can see the
producer.
toy.
Your executive producer should be on the panel.
Well, usually she is, but she's had a busy day. She's got family in from Florida, so she's kind of just laying out and keeping an eye on the chat because she doesn't sleep. I can go to bed and wake up. I can go to bed and wake up and pick up my phone and look at it and go, anybody awake?
That's cute.
That's a Koshikan. That's something. That's from Japan. That's freaky. Those are freaky.
Right, but is it like from Pokemon or
No.
is it what is
No,
it?
it's a Koshikan. It's a yokai hand watch. That's a Japanese.
Is it its own thing? Own
Yeah.
type of toy?
Yeah. It's
It's on my nose. Hold on.
It's
It's like this big. I'm trying to see it, and somebody tell me where to move my phone. Oh, I got it.
right there. And what it is it's like a pop, but it's Japanese manga animation. I can't even pronounce the proper name of it. It's just they're stupid. That's what I think. I'm sorry.
They have some
I
wild.
couldn't find anything on it.
We couldn't find anything. I could find pictures, but I couldn't find.
Underneath on his feet, he should have something.
No, he doesn't. His feet are.
The only thing it has on it is on the back of the head. It says something Hasbro.
Oh yeah, it does,
Yeah.
and it has a number, but I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
Sorry to terrify everybody.
No, that's fine. It's a Japanese toy, and some of those manga and that stuff is really far fetched.
I could find it in pictures, but I couldn't find it.
Right.
All it would
Is it
say
worth
is a
any
Japanese
money?
toy.
What
Oh,
Is it worth
where's
any money?
Is it
Yeah.
worth
that
money?
toothbrush is
15,
in
20
my. You gotta check out this toothbrush Justin found a couple weekends ago. This is even crazier. It's Japanese.
Yep.
I got it for 75 cents.
No, you got it for nothing. You only
Oh,
paid
it's-
$3
yeah, I guess-
for
I
other
guess I got
stuff. So he looked it up today. They're going for 48 to 53 on Amazon.
Let's see it. Wow.
Somebody tell me when to stop.
You good?
You need to go to the. There you go. There you go.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep going.
If you ever see, and here's your
going.
be on the lookout for your bolo.
Keep
If
going.
you ever run across any of this Japanese
Keep
animation stuff,
Where am I going to, Stubby?
Into the camera.
check the price, and if it's cheap,
Lift it up a bit.
Yeah.
Bit more. Bit to that's it. Ah, now I can see it.
he's like a ninja.
Yeah.
Where's
Right.
the toothbrush part?
It's a
Yeah.
toothbrush. Well, it's not open, so I'm not going to open it, guys. But you
Yeah.
pop the button,
Mm.
and it's a toothbrush.
Oh,
So the toothbrush is in the head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It pops. Yeah.
Okay.
But back in the day, like,
So,
you
what's
remember
it
when we were
today?
kids, we used to have the toothbrush that popped into like the top of ET or R2D2, stuff like that.
No, the whole head pops out. It goes boink.
Yep.
But who pays $50? Some crazy parent trying to get their
No,
kid to brush their teeth.
40. They're selling it on Amazon between $48 and $53.
Mhm.
Can't find it anywhere else,
I love my kid a lot, but I ain't paying $50 for a toothbrush.
right?
It better brush his own teeth then.
Exactly.
It's, but like I said, if you run across any of that Japanime anime stuff,
Yeah.
look at it and look it up because some of that stuff is worth a lot of money because you
Oh,
can't
we
get
know.
it here.
One of the
He
things,
watches
one of the
that
things that's
stuff.
big is Sailor Moon. If you find anything Sailor
Yeah.
Moon,
Yeah.
Or he has a.
I picked up what was it? A One Piece.
what
Called
is it?
One Piece, the anime.
One Piece is the anime.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
One Piece.
I,
Yep.
It's on.
It's a
Yeah.
deck of playing
Yeah.
cards.
It's a
Yeah.
deck of playing cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. One Piece.
He
One Piece
watches
is really
a lot
good.
of that. So, we actually went a couple years ago. We always go to the beach about an hour away
Mhm.
for vacation on Thanksgiving.
So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the Amazon listing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wait, where am I going?
Right
I'm
there.
going.
Right there. Yep.
I know it's a red one, but it's going for $53. That's
There you
crazy
go.
in my mind.
And that's the only listing?
There's a different one for 40 he found earlier.
But that
Okay.
was a different character. It was
Yeah.
like an animal character.
Animal characters. Yep. So,
So
but
we were
just
at
so
the-
you know, I'm the resident toy guy.
Right,
So
okay.
we were on vacation at this thrift store. It's a animal shelter thrift store. They never ask for much. They threw a very risque Japanime in the kids section. We bought it just to get it out.
Very.
We
They
bought
have
it
a
just
lot of
to
that
get it out.
stuff.
Excuse me, this is a kids movie.
We're like, that's not a kids movie. We'll buy it. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And just so people know, all of these anime characters, Japanese women do not have boobs like that.
Right?
Because
I'm
all of these
5'3".
anime
I ain't got
characters,
nothing like that.
all these anime characters have big boobs.
And their butts don't ever look that good. Trust me.
We watch, my boys and my wife like anime, and there's a couple episodes, a couple of series that I like. They're not over the top like all the voodoo crap and stuff like that.
So late night on Cartoon Network.
Well, it's most of them are on Netflix now or on YouTube.
Well, late night for you guys. They're on right now for us because they come on 12 o'clock East Coast time. It's only
Right.
9 here.
I like watching. If everybody remembers Star Blazers, Voltron.
Right.
That's the Japanese animation I used to watch.
That's old school.
Yeah.
If you ever run, Derek, if you ever run across an Initial D,
Yep.
diecast car,
Yep.
let me know
Okay.
because I'm a big fan of Initial D, which is a Japanese
Yep.
Anime about
Anime.
street racing.
Yeah.
And anyway, he has this little special car, and people have in America. It's a Toyota Camry is what it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
A 2-door Camry.
Yeah.
But it's people over here in the States.
Mm.
Like there's one here in Charlotte that has been painted, and it's got the Tofu Shop decal on the side of it, just like the anime does.
Right.
And apparently, it's really popular with,
the younger kids. Yeah.
and their first car, they get one, and then they have it painted like the.
If you guys want to watch something cool, there's a site. It's free. It's called Tubi, TUBI, where you can go back and you can watch. I watch the old GI Joe cartoons, Voltron, cartoons, Cops, all that type of stuff. It's free. I watch it a lot during the week, during the day.
I want a set of the original Johnny Quest cartoons.
Really?
Yeah, because they have edited them so bad because there's too much violence in them. You know, there's parts where Johnny and Haji they're shooting guns and stuff like that. Well, that's just too over the top for the snowflakes we have today. And but they've edited them really bad, and that's like the original Looney Tune. They've edited those things so bad because the Roadrunner can't. I mean, the Coyote can't fall off of a mountaintop now or blow himself up with bombs. Because it's too violent.
I loved it. I loved them all.
I found this today.
Indiana Jones.
Nice.
I remember seeing Indiana Jones at the theater. Y'all were probably 10 years old.
Excuse me. I was probably like 3.
Okay, 3.
Nobby, one of the things that I'm looking for, just so you know, I'm looking for the Action Force figures. The 3 3/4. There was a G.I. Joe here, but we can't find them around here at all. I know I watch a lot of Toy Polloi, and he has so much of it that I've been watching him a lot. So,
okay, I'm gonna share this with you, and if anybody steals my idea, I'm gonna be pissed off. I've thought about doing just like a little quick show, a pop-up show about like when people that collect. Like you want this stuff. You'd come on and say, "I'm looking for this," and if you've got any pictures, you could screen share and show them.
Right.
Because you potentially have thousands of people that could run across this stuff.
Right.
And have like different people come on and talk about the stuff that they're looking for, to finish their collectibles. Because there's a lot of things that people collect that are not collectibles.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that are not high.
We have that all the time. So we have.
I collect a lot of dust.
Dust.
Me too.
Hey, Tom, I want to share something. Can you screen share it with me?
Okay.
There you go. Oh, wait, I gotta go to do your beer sign.
Let's see, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, go ahead and hit it, and I'll.
Snobby, I can send you some dust from New Mexico. We have a lot of dust.
There's my son's lacrosse helmet, everybody.
That's your what helmet?
My son's lacrosse helmet.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
That's cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it just didn't have those labels on the side of it.
You didn't like that?
I think it kind of looks like a snake with his mouth open.
That's UNC, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We don't follow UNC here.
No, you guys are bad.
No, it's not that I have anything, because I've got a couple of jackets. I've got a storage units that I wear that's UNC.
Yeah.
And people will go Carolina. No. I got them because they were like 10 cents by the time I break down the whole cost of my storage unit. People around here, okay, first of all, they have the best football team that money can buy.
Yeah, right.
People just go, they jump on the bandwagon. Everything's UNC, and they're not true fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're just riding it because they're on a high.
Right.
And so I just kind of have a thing about that. Just my opinion. I really don't have anything bad to say about them, because I'm not one of these people that's like has a roll tide. I don't really care, because it's like this. We spend about $60,000 to send one of our kids to college.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing me any freaking favor at all.
Right.
And my son, he's already started getting. He graduated this past summer. He's already getting alumni.
Nice.
So, don't forget.
Tom, where are you at?
Pardon me?
Where are you at?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City.
That'd be my favorite place to go on vacation.
We are like all over the place. He's in
Charlotte, North Carolina.
He's in the middle of the east. You're out west. I'm in the northeast, and we have across the pond.
Yeah, Snobby's way
Right?
the hell across the pond.
And then we have Michelle that's in southwest.
Yeah, she's in.
She's down below us, down there somewhere,
Yeah.
where it's hot as hell.
She's in
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
But you know, we're in a good location here because we're 3 hours to the beach and we're 3 hours to the mountains.
I'm in-
Albuquerque, New Mexico,
45
I will
minutes.
add.
Do what?
Albuquerque, New Mexico, I will add.
Yep.
Hey, I was there once.
I should
Hey,
have made
we
a
were
right
down
turn at
there
Albuquerque.
in
Remember, that's
So
what Bugs
for-
always said. I should have made a right turn at Albuquerque.
Yes.
So, for all you people that want to meet up, here's a little story for you. We used to do some other things online. We lost our dads, both of us. I broke my foot in somewhere along the way. And so we picked up one day and we went on a 17-day vacation. We drove down to New Mexico and stayed with a couple that we met online through some other stuff we were doing. We went to Texas after that, spent a week there with some folks that we met online that came up and visited my dad right before he died. And then lost their son in Afghanistan. And then we went to Iowa, stayed a couple days with some other folks we met online. And then we went and visited Justin's family for a week. 17 days on the road. We never spent a dime in a motel room.
Nice.
That's pretty.
And we
cool.
went from Longview, Washington, down to Albuquerque,
It took about 24 hours.
over to
Right there.
Maybank, Texas, up to Des Moines, Iowa, or Council Bluffs, and then over to GI, Nebraska.
And just so you know, Snobby, and everybody will laugh because I know Tom's gonna laugh at this. You could literally, when you go through my country, my state, if you blink your eyes, you're gonna be to it in 45 minutes. So
Right. I mean,
That's
I know there's a lot that goes on in the USA there, and what she's saying there, Marie, is that like what I would know as a excuse me, like a redneck style sort of holiday.
That's the only redneck I know, and that's because from his neck down, he's white as a ghost.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I
But
would
that is a
consider
redneck
that-
vacation. You're right.
Right.
That was a redneck vacation, but you know what? What I'm telling you is the hospitality of people that you meet online through your ventures, whether reselling or something else, because we were doing something else, is amazing. We stopped to have dinner with the people in Albuquerque, just dinner.
Mhm.
We were so exhausted and we're talking about getting a motel room that the guy that we went down there to see said, absolutely not. You will stay in our house, but you will stay in 2 separate beds.
She said,
In the same room.
We
In the same room. I'm
And I
like,
think-
am I in the 1940s or?
You know what?
But
It
we did it.
happens.
We did it because it didn't cost us any money.
Mhm.
We got to take a shower because they wouldn't let us leave the house without taking a shower. They bought us dinner when we did get there because that's kind of the point we went down there was to kind of go have dinner with them and whatnot. They took our dog in, even though they had dogs, and
I went to dinner
Okay.
last night with my friend, and as we were leaving, 2 couples and this other single person were coming out, and they shared they met online gaming like 6 years ago. And one of the couples was traveling from who knows where to California, and they were just driving through and kind of the same thing. They came together and to meet in person.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. The people
So-
in Texas we had met, they
Yeah.
had come up to see my dad before he died with their son that ended up getting killed in Afghanistan.
So the guy we met in Albuquerque, he'd been traveling for years with his RV group, going to various places to meet other people he'd met online.
Gotcha.
So even in the YouTube world, it's possible. You can, vacation and not, like, we were losing our house. We were like just at our wits' end, and we're like, screw it, we're going on vacation. We didn't spend a dime anywhere to stay.
That whole vacation, gas wise and outside food, I think we maybe spent
About $1,000. That was it.
maybe 1,000. Maybe.
Because we road tripped the whole way. We just drove the whole way.
I
All
don't
right,
like
Tom.
seeing other
I'm going to
people's
get going, guys.
My wife and I are in that fault.
I'll talk to you guys later, Tom.
Night,
All right.
Derek.
Guys.
Good night.
Let's go.
See you later. I don't like staying at other people's houses because my wife and I are both up and down all night long. So we always stay in hotels because, like I said,
They kind of didn't give us a choice.
Well, the first couple didn't give us a choice. The second couple knew we were coming, but they were both older couples than us. Like,
Right.
their kids were about our age. So, and we wouldn't care anyway if you stay with us because we're kind of up and down all night anyway.
And to be honest with you, Tom, I don't think I'd want you creeping around my house in your pants.
I always bring like a pair of shorts.
We bring some clothes. Don't worry.
I have floppy shorts that I wear at night.
Right?
And
Yeah.
I just came back in from picking up my son. He works at the blood bank at the hospital. Every other weekend he has to work, and he was working this weekend. And otherwise, I would have had a T-shirt on, one that's like a 5X T-shirt, so it's plenty of room to move around in, and my floppy shorts instead of street clothes.
Right.
But like I said, it just seems always we can make noise if we want to make noise and don't have to
Worry
about bothering people.
Yeah.
Or get up and make some tea or coffee or something and just not bothering people.
Yeah, I understand.
It's
I'll be the
So
same.
so here's the one thing. We live on the West Coast, so y'all get up way before we freaking do. Way before. So
yeah, because it's only like 9:30.
you're gonna get up and make way more noise than we're gonna get up and make any damn noise.
No, it's 9. It's like 9:30 your time, right?
It's 9:22.
Okay. Because some states do not recognize the
So
daylight savings time.
we live on the lower south.
The southwest corner of
Thank you.
Washington.
We are literally 5 minutes from Oregon, 45 minutes from Oregon, or like an hour and a half from Oregon, depending on which way we go.
Okay. But like I said, some states don't do the daylight savings time anymore. So
I wish they just give that.
Yeah,
It's not needed anymore.
We don't need it.
well, they're talking about leaving it like now, leaving this time all year round again. Because it's been, I guess, in the 80s maybe, or maybe it was in the 90s. For like 3 years, they didn't change the daylight savings time back, and then they started doing
It had to be in the 80s.
With today's technology, I don't think daylight savings is doing anybody any favors. And if it was strictly for agriculture, I mean, there again, today's technology takes care of a lot of that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, farmers can get out and do the things they need to do, whether it's dark or not.
Well,
They
now
was,
they're saying that it's because
anyway.
of the children and the bus stops and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. There's
I think
always a reason.
if you're gonna do it so the kids will be safer in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me. I'm okay with that.
That goes either way. I mean, whether it's darker in the morning or darker in the evening,
It
it's
do-
going to be darker at some.
It doesn't change their electric bill, so let the kids be safe and just
Yeah.
leave it one time so people can sleep. or not sleep.
When it switches, it takes me a month to get adjusted.
He's
to
up at like 4 in the damn morning all the time. I'm like, put your ass back to bed. I can't do anything. It's dark as shit.
I was awake at 4:30 this morning. I laid in bed till 5:30. I'm like, I'm getting up. I
He's
can't do
like,
it no more.
we should make some coffee and get up. I rolled over. That ain't happening. It's dark outside.
Now, Snobby, do y'all do the time change in England? The
Yeah.
daylight savings?
Yeah, spring and fall. Only an hour.
Right, that's what we do. Spring forward, fall back.
That's right.
And change the batteries in your smoke detector more
Yeah.
than every 5 years.
What's that?
Well, we do that on the first of the year.
I don't need to change the batteries. Mine's actually connected to the mains.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ours isn't.
You're
Ours
a
starts
redneck.
beeping. We're like,
The new houses
change it.
the new houses they do here, but you still have to have battery backups to make code. And
Yeah, well, we have a lot of laws and regulations here now.
This house was built in 1952. The garage was built a lot later, which is where we are now.
right.
It was
My-
built a lot later.
Yeah, my house was built in 48. I had to replace the water heater about 6 years ago, and it said in times of war, this is potable water.
Oh,
That darn thing
6
lasted a
years
long
ago?
time.
Wait.
Mhm.
I need a hot water heater like that. Is it really hot?
It is really hot. It worked really good. Yeah.
Because then anytime we get a hot water heater, I'm like, crank that bitch to 140. Because, oh, sorry.
That's all right. My wife inherited a deep freezer, stand-up freezer from her aunt, and it was about 5 foot 5 inches tall. Not a
Hey, I
real
ended
big,
up with one
not
of
a
those
real
in my
big
hand,
one,
too.
but it was. It would take 4 people to move it, and we finally had to buy a new freezer. And when the guys came from Lowe's to drop off the new one or install the new one, they take off the old one. And he said, "Now, Mr. Hucks, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get 50 years out of this one." Because that's about how old that other freezer was. He's like, "You're not going to get 50 years out of this one. So, if you get
We
20
bought a
guys, you'll be doing good."
We bought a washer and dryer, and a year after we bought it, it all went to crap. So we went back to use stuff for a long time.
Oh, you failed to mention about the new ones I bought that you won't even touch. They have too many buttons and dings and dongs and
It sounds like you're on the
USS Enterprise. He hit start on the dryer and it starts dinging on him. He's like, I'm out. Not touching it. I'm like, just hold the button. It'll stop dinging at you.
Michelle, how long have you been in New Mexico?
All my life.
You're a New Mexico girl.
Yes. And I love Albuquerque, and it would be very difficult to move to anywhere. My son, I've talked about my son before, but he just accepted a final offer to a position by the DIA, and he'll be moving to Washington, D.C.
Oh, he don't hate that.
Right?
He's excited for me to visit, and in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, hell no. But I'll go. But Albuquerque has 4 seasons. We have mountains, we have valleys, we have all kinds of wildlife. It's really kind of a unique, diverse.
You have hot as
place.
hell.
It can get hot, but it doesn't get hot like Phoenix, or the highest we've been in the last couple weeks is 100. They've been having at least 120 for some time now in Arizona. We're not that hot.
100's too hot for me.
Dude, we melt at 90.
I
And we
know
have
that.
a dry heat. You
It is
melt at
only-
70. You don't count. You don't
We
count.
did-
You melt
yeah.
at 70. You
And
just
because
hush up.
and when it's been raining, it's gotten really humid. And we're dry. We don't really know what the humidity is like where other people are.
No, we get our humidity in the winter.
Yeah, we
That's not
usually
too
have
bad.
a pretty dry winter or summer.
Our summer heat has been really high. Like the last couple of days it's been pushing 90 and people are like, we're dying. Even me. I think it's because
Yeah.
I'm getting old. But
You know, you don't have humidity until when you take a breath in, you feel like you're going to drown.
so that would be when we did that road trip. We left here, it was raining and like 60. We hit Baker City, Oregon. It was 100 damn degrees, which is a dry heat. It was 100 in Albuquerque. It was 100 plus in Texas the whole time we were there. It was 100 plus in Iowa the whole time we were there. It was 100 plus in Nebraska. They all had humidity. We got home. It was 100 freaking degrees here. We were like, what the?
And it was
Yeah.
dry heat.
How hot does it get in England?
This week we've had temperatures of 98.
That's pretty warm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I heard you guys were having a heat wave.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
been hot. Yeah.
We just call that hot here.
Yeah.
It gets, like a heat wave for us is like 95 to 100. That's it. That's what we call a heat wave. So yeah, because it don't generally get that hot here.
He did the conversion. Normally he just says it's Celsius, and I had a tab open already. When you said how hot is it, and I clicked on it, I was getting ready to type in what he said so I could convert it, and he came out with the Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Nick had said it was pretty hot over there. Nick and Andrea had said it was pretty hot over there. So
Yeah. Yes. What we call
So
uncomfortable.
yeah,
Have you
that's
ever met Nick and
uncomfortable.
Andrea? Bobby, have you ever met
What was that?
Nick and Andrea?
I couldn't hear him.
Okay.
Have you ever met Nick and Andrea?
No, I don't think so.
The resellers,
Yeah, Nick and
What, you-
Andrea Hills, they're on YouTube.
right?
They're resellers.
No. I'm pretty new to YouTube, to be honest with you.
Oh, you should look them up. Nick and Andrea Hills. They're resellers on YouTube. Crack me
And
up.
they're in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hutchins.
So is
They're in Hutchins.
Tom the English picker, Carla, oh, what's her name?
Jenkins.
Jenkins? Yeah.
Jenkins.
Oh, you want a hoot? She's a hoot.
She is a hoot. My favorite
She's
UK
a hoot.
reseller is Mrs.
She's
M.
my kind of lady.
Somebody else that comes.
She's a hoot.
Yeah. Carby picker, I think bum crack pickers over there. Bianca's in Germany. Yeah, there's a bunch over there. I'm not sure how close to you, but you know, they're over there.
So we just presume that all English people know each other.
Yeah.
No,
No.
we didn't.
No,
Y'all
I
did.
don't presume any of that. I just asked if it was possible.
I asked him the other day if he had been to the Queen's place for tea yet. He says no, not until he gets his knighthood.
How long before that happened?
It won't happen.
Okay, here's the question. We don't have royalty, and you know, there's multiple issues for both countries, but is it really that big of a difference between the royal crowd and the common crowd, or is it more closer together, but they're just different because of their lineage?
You talking about financially?
No, not just as people, you know, as nobody.
Well, I'm
Prince
sure-
Charles is not walking down the street by himself. I mean, it's not like that. But are they so different or treated so different than the regular people?
Class difference.
Yeah, class difference.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're like way up here, and everybody else is down here.
Well, I'm sure that you've got it in your country as well, and it's called rich and poor,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
right?
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
either born
You
with
do.
a silver, you're either born with a silver spoon in your mouth or a plastic one. Yeah.
So I got the
I'm-
plastic end of the deal, but you know.
And as far as the Royals go, they are the Royals, so they're in a class on their own.
True, but you would like to think that they're normal, regular people.
Have you seen the house that she lives in?
Oh
I
yeah,
was gonna say, have you seen
That
how
old
many
dog?
castles they
it's been
have?
around a long time.
Yeah, that old shack. But the thing about it is, when you get out into the other nobility, like there's a YouTube.
That whole thing was built in the 13th.
Sorry.
There's a YouTube video about, it's called, I think, The Last Duke.
Drop my phone.
They interviewed a couple of dukes. Now there's like the Dukes of Marlborough who have buku money and stuff like that, but there's a lot of dukes that they have a title and they live in a little flat in London. The money was depleted years and years and years ago. They just have a title, so every once or twice a year they do their dukedom thing, but it's a case where there's the royals, and then there's the rich, and then there's the middle class, and then there's the poor. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, we've still got people that live on the streets.
Yeah.
What we call Cardboard City.
Cobble City. Oh, I like that. They have such cute.
That's what they call them here too, cardboard cities.
And it's obviously become a lot worse because we've become an international hotel.
Right.
Yeah, but the royals, they don't live in the same world. They never have done. And if you go back in history and time, if you had a problem, they chopped your head off. They put you in the guillotine. It was gone.
Yeah.
Don't argue with us. That's the royals for you. Simple as that. Nowadays, you just can't do that, can you?
But you got to admit, they're the greatest tourist attraction in the world. People from
For
all
you,
over.
maybe.
Huh?
For you,
Right.
I ain't fussed about it at all.
Well, I know that, but there's people from across America or the world. They go to London and stand in front of the palace just in case they might get to have a glimpse of them. And back when
These guys are crazy.
you know
They
what?
don't go by the windows very often.
Yeah. And there were people back when William and Kate got married. They had on our news here. They were interviewing Americans that were waiting for the wedding, stood outside for days waiting for that damn wedding. And it was there was one case. There was a couple women, and she says, "Oh, we've been at every function since the Queen was her coronation." And she said, "Now, of course, I didn't see that, but my mother was here." And I'm thinking to myself, okay, when the Queen had her coronation, you had to travel by ship. So you spent a week coming. You spent a week going.
They
You spent
had
however many days you were there waiting for the coronation, and then you had to travel back a week on a ship.
Yeah.
That's a little.
It's a good thing they weren't on the Titanic.
And that was in 1977.
The
Coronation,
Queen's
wasn't it?
was what, 59?
I thought it was 77.
I
her
was gonna say, I thought it was
No, Queen
77.
Elizabeth's
Man, I was-
coronation.
Yeah.
hell, I was born
When
then.
she was 20-ish.
Yeah. Back when she was a girl and she became queen.
Right.
I thought that was like 59 or something like that.
They had airplanes
Oh.
then.
Yeah, but
Would it have been the
that was-
Queen Jubilee?
you talk about
77.
the rich flew on airplanes.
Yeah.
The common people did not fly on planes because it was very expensive.
They had to walk.
Yeah.
If I
So
was going to England now, I'd skip London and I'd go. I want to hit all those small towns. I don't want to go
See
to
the
England.
real
Or not
people.
London.
See the real English
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one, we live in a small town. I mean, we're close to a lot of big towns everybody goes to. Like, we're by Portland, Oregon, P-Town. We're pretty close to that one. We're really close to that one. We're not far from Seattle. We're an hour from the ocean. We're an hour from Mount St. Helens. Well, a little over an hour from Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood. We got Mount Adams, Mount Rainier. I mean, we've got,
Tourist attractions abound.
we can go any direction and either hit water or hit snow. Yeah.
But I'd rather go see the small towns. Than the
We
big
are
cities.
all about going and seeing like the little places, you know, the places you don't realize there are.
well, you
Yeah.
go to some place like London, you hit the big touristy things. You know, you go to the Tower of London, that type of thing, and then you get out and you go like
We're
you said,
not really touristy kind of people. Like, we go to a tourist town on vacation when we go in for Thanksgiving, but it's because we're so close to the ocean. We love it.
But we also hit the non-touristy
But
places.
we hit all the non-tourist towns around town.
well, if you're
I
from
would
America,
rather-
if you're from America and you're in the UK, you're a tourist.
Right. That would only be my daughter because
And-
I don't fly.
And they can spot us a mile away.
Oh, I'm sure.
My son has
Yeah,
red
I
hair,
don't know about that.
and he was gonna go to
Hello.
Ireland.
Hello.
And I said, you're gonna blend right in because you have red hair. He said, my red hair isn't the same as their red hair. They're gonna know I'm not from there. I'm like, well, okay.
You wouldn't know today. You wouldn't know today.
Let me cut in here, everybody. This is Pamela, just
Hi,
Pamela.
Pamela.
Hello.
Hi,
She's been
just
on the show a
Pamela.
few times, visited with us. This is
Hello.
Michelle. You've not met Michelle before, and you've not met
I'm-
Marie before.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, Michelle, Marie.
Oh,
She's got the queen
hello.
wave.
And
She's-
Justin.
She's got the
Justin
queen
too.
wave.
Yeah, she's
Hello.
practicing.
Justin.
She's practicing because she's in Canada.
So, if
Born
you
in
flip.
England, though.
Yeah, she was born in England.
I've been to
Okay.
Canada. It's beautiful.
So, Snobby, I got a question here. You know Wallace
Yes.
and Gromit, correct?
I do, yes.
Not
So I found
personally.
this guy. So in the chat earlier, I'd said that I'd met a couple from England. They'd been in the States now for about 20 years. I got this
Uh-huh.
from them for $4.
Wow.
Is that Gromit?
I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Gromit's the dog. Wallace is the man.
The man, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
But I saw on eBay these are going for somewhere around $80. He's
Wow.
still got his tag. Does that sound about right to you?
Is
Do
that,
you know?
is, that a
or-
little, is that a little backpack or something?
Yeah, it's a little backpack.
Right. Yeah,
Probably
it's, probably
so.
worth about, it's probably worth about £1 over here at a flea market.
What about on eBay? I don't know.
With
I just
shipping.
£2.
Plus shipping $5.
We talking
careful.
2P?
Be careful what you buy, Justin.
For $4. I went back a little bit later and I got a stack a bunch of other stuff for $10. So I
Yeah.
can't complain.
Listen, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter whether it costs $10 or $20. When you bought it, you was happy to buy it.
Out of everything they had there, I bought 2 things for $8. I didn't even
Yeah.
look them up. I knew that this guy was, pretty unique in his own right. He's got kind of a cult following over here. Like
Yeah,
I said, later when I looked it up on eBay, he's somewhere around $80, give or take, depending on
Yeah.
the condition.
I can
But
remember.
I picked up,
I can remember as a child. My grandparents, they used to buy tea bags, right? And they used to buy like a box of 80 tea bags, and inside the box, you'd get a couple of little cards in there. You know, like what you get out of a cigarette packet.
Right.
And they'd have all different pictures on them, and you could get a series of them, and there'd be like 50 to collect in the series. And as a kid, I used to go around there and open up a new box. My granddad did go absolutely mad, but I wanted to get the 2 cards out. Yeah, and then I'd put the box back and everything like that. Because obviously I weren't the only child. There was quite a few of us, cousins and that. And I made a beeline to get them cards anyway. Cut a long story down. I recently, well, not recently, a couple of years ago, I bought about, I don't know, there must be about 50, 60 full sets of old cards, right? One set might be about flowers, one set might be about butterflies, another set about dinosaurs, cars, right? Anyway, I thought, I've got these really, really cheap, you know, because they're the full set. And then when I really started to do a bit of research, they're not worth nothing, really. You know,
yeah,
but I spent quite a few bob on them.
it happens. We've all done stuff like that. I went over to a yard sale here a couple weeks ago.
So what he didn't tell you is that $10 that he went back and spent later, we lost a lot of weight because of not having teeth anymore. He got like 6 or 7 pairs of jeans and a bunch of sweatshirts and games and stuff for that $10 that actually fit him.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to a yard sale.
Yes, Justin. Sorry. Yeah, before you was rudely interrupted.
Sorry about that. He is on my phone.
I didn't steal it from. So I found this old poster, and it just said "make offer" on it, and the thing had to have been from the 20s. And it looks kind of, you know, it's triangular shape, and the sides come open, and you toast like one side of the bread at a time.
It looked freaking scary to me.
And it was pretty beat up, and the polish was kind of worn on it. It said "make an offer," so I like, would you take $1 for it? And the gal's like, sure, I'll take $1 for it. So I put it out here in our yard sale today. It wasn't out here for about a half an hour before some guy came in and looked at it and said, $10, I'll buy that. I'm like, okay. I guess I priced it too low.
And did
Yeah,
she
and
say it was
that's
creepy? Did Marie
What's
say?
that?
Did Marie say it was? It's creepy.
That toaster was scary as hell. It was nasty, dirty. He cleaned up the inside, but the outside was like, you know, you get that, you use it a lot, that oily, weird, yellow stuff to like your metal. It looked terrifyingly scary to me. I'm like, we're not going to get $10 out of that thing for nothing. Some dude walked in, he was like, is that a toaster? Is it $10? Going in my camp cabin or something. I'm like, what the?
But we're also talking about somebody that sold a pair of shoes that I put a burn hole in that
Yes.
I was going to
Yes,
throw
I
away.
did.
And she sold them
did.
for like, what, $2-3?
$2.
I'm like, you should have just thrown them away. And the guy's like, I'm just going to wear them for work anyway. And I'm like, whatever.
So, Pamela, what's been going on with you since our last time chatting?
I booked my flight for Fort Lauderdale,
Cool.
so I'm still going on my cruise.
Well, good.
Nice.
Are you taking your husband?
Yeah, yeah, this time. Yeah. I went on one
Do
without
we
him.
have to take them when we go somewhere?
With cruises, you pay for 2 people, whether you go by yourself or
Yeah.
both of you.
So you might as well take him with, right?
Well, I did one in February without him.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Did you go with friends or did you go by yourself?
No, I went by myself because he didn't make a decision right away. And it was too good of a deal. I said, you got to tell me, are you going to go or you're not going to go? And he didn't answer me. So I booked and went.
Well, how did you like going by yourself?
it was fantastic. It was a good respite. You know, you still do all the fun things: eat, casino, ports, ports of call. You still do everything, so it's still a lot of fun.
No bingo. My wife
Too much
loves
time in
bingo.
the casino.
My phone is dying, you guys. I gotta jump.
Okay.
Oh, don't go.
Thank
Thank
you for
Thank
letting us
you.
in. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
Marie.
Good
Good night,
night.
Justin.
Good night.
Justin, see you later. So,
So,
Pamela, did
You're
I hear that you came from the UK first?
Yes, that's where I was born, Birmingham,
Oh,
Midland.
Birmingham. You're originally a Brummie.
Yes, I am.
Uh,
but
I
you're
want to remember the name of the neighborhood. I can't remember the name of it.
but your parents are Caribbean?
Yes, from St. Kitts.
Thank you.
Yeah, which is a British colony. I mean, it's just. And I did my DNA, my ancestry DNA,
Uh-huh.
and that was exciting.
Did
And
it say
I
you were from
loved
that
it
area?
than I thought.
Where did it say you were from?
Well, of course, I'm mostly African,
Right.
you know. But based on my family history, I figured because my grandmother on my dad's side, she's born in the Caribbean, but her parents are both from England. And they went to the Caribbean because my grandmother was born 1898. So I figured that there'd be a bit of British, but I'm only 5% British, like in genealogy.
Right.
And then the big surprise was that I'm 6% Norwegian.
No. Oh, you look really Norwegian there, honey. That blonde hair and white skin gives
Blue
it
eyes.
away.
No blue eyes. But maybe it's my character.
you seem a
white
very lovely
character.
person, actually.
Pardon?
You seem a very lovely person.
Thank you.
She
I've
is.
only just met you.
She's from Canada, that's why.
You know, we're the
No,
place.
no. She started from England, all right? Yeah,
But she's from Birmingham.
Birmingham.
See, what is it Jezzer always says? The Midlands.
Yes.
That'll do. Or something like that. He's like everything, you know, I'm talking about Jezzer from the car program.
I was up that way a few weeks
Top
back.
Gear.
I was up at Sutton Coldfield.
Mm?
I was up at Sutton Coldfield a couple of weeks back.
Where's that?
It's just up a little bit higher than Birmingham.
Okay. I just like throwing all the map. Yeah, you know what? I left England in 1969.
Well, you don't look that old.
Have you been back?
Pardon?
Have you been back?
The last time I was in England was 1987. 87. That's because I think that was the year. 87? Yeah, because 88 California.
It's
89
like
was
33
Winnipeg.
years ago.
I mean,
It's
I
like
know
30
you should never ask a lady's age.
It's like 33 years since you were in England. My son is 30, that's why I could do the math fast.
I know you should never ask a lady's age, right? But, you know, obviously I can't see you in the flesh, but you only look about, what, 33?
Yeah, but you know what? I've put away my glitter.
So we have a phrase in the United States. It's called black don't crack. That's why she looks so young. She doesn't get wrinkles.
Ah.
We get to be preserved here in Canada.
Yeah.
The cold. Now, are you a Canadian citizen now, Pamela?
Oh, of course. Of course. That's one of the things my parents are very big on. It's like they made sure we had our citizenship signed, sealed, and delivered by 75. You know,
Nice.
if you go to a country, you're supposed to get your citizenship.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, there's
That's
been a lot
okay.
of controversy in the
It's
UK
a little bit of my
regarding
politics
sex
flowing
citizenship.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she gave us a lecture the other night. She gave us a lecture the other night about giving everything away in our country.
Well, you do. I'm sorry. But
But we'll save
England
that,
has its other thing.
for another night.
But England has its thing too, because I used to have friends back in the 80s that would go to England on holidays and say they'll go for 6 or 7 weeks. They'd enjoy their holiday, but they'd apply for the dole while they're on holidays. Isn't that bad?
Crazy.
I call that abuse.
I think that was really bad.
It's
And for
abuse.
those that don't know, the dole is all of our freebies in the United States, welfare and all that kind of stuff.
Like, people shouldn't be doing that.
Anywhere. They shouldn't be doing that anywhere.
Exactly. I didn't do it. I actually went and spent money on my holidays.
I like to say it's American to descent. And I think it came from way back when we gave the finger, and we just have been given the finger ever since.
Okay, we talked about Snobby. We talked about Hyacinth and Richard the other night.
Oh,
Onslow and Daisy, where they lived at, was that just a community? Was that kind of like an assisted living kind of community, like on the dole type community? Or was that a nice neighborhood that they just let their place go to hell?
They were in an apartment.
no.
Yes, I
Not
know.
a house.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah.
They were in
apartment.
townhouses.
Yeah, but it wasn't a house as opposed to
Yeah,
Hyacinth.
it was a townhouse.
Well, it's just like a bit of divide, wasn't it? From Hyacinth, Mrs. Bouquet, little
Right.
bit posh, and
Yeah.
the flip side of that, someone that's not so posh,
Right.
who don't give a damn, like
Well,
redneck style.
I was
and-
just wondering because no one in that house seemed to work.
or wash. Wash.
Do I?
Wash, when you have a wash, clean.
Right.
You know,
Because Onslow didn't seem like he was the working type, and nor was Daisy, and Rose was always out looking for the fellas, so I don't think he worked either. And poor old daddy had worked. He had served in the war, so he was had done his bit for God and country.
Yeah, well,
See,
people like
I watched
people
that
like
show.
Onslow. Yeah, people like Onslow that looked a little bit what we call soapy, that dodged the soap, right?
Right.
They hide their money under the soap,
Okay.
so it's safe because they never use the soap.
The people that made me laugh the most was like the church people. It wasn't a priest, but the deacon or whatever he was.
The vicar.
The vicar.
The dishy
Yes.
vicar.
And they
As
would
Rose
not
always referred to it.
Yeah.
She sings at me. No, excuse me. That was Emmett next door. Emmett next door was the one that she always sang at.
Yeah.
Oh, the lady next.
Yeah, Elizabeth and Emmett that lived next door. He played the piano, and Hyacinth would come in and she'd break out in a song as soon as she walked in the door and she saw it. See, I did watch that show a lot.
I love
There's another-
watching
All the
people
names of those,
by their
the
house.
vicar and his wife, you definitely watch that show.
There is another one. I can't actually remember what it was actually called. The program, the comedy program, but there's a couple of characters in it, and they were called Wayne and Waynetta. Right? If you can just tap that in, Wayne and Waynetta, you'll get what comes up, and you'll see what they're like. And they are proper what you call slobs. You know, they've let things go as they've got older. They've let things go. You know,
Right.
if you was to just put it on the computer, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. But check it out, Wayne and Waynetta.
I can't think of the name of the show, but it was on PBS for a long time, a half-hour comedy show, and they were in a store, a department store.
Oh,
Are you
great
being
brother.
served?
Yes. That I thought was the funniest show.
It was.
What one
see,
was
that was my first touch of British TV. Was Are You Being Served?
Are you being served?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm free.
Yeah.
did you guys watch On the Buses?
On the Buses?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that one.
That's an old one.
Like,
Olive.
I don't remember
loved
too
Olive.
much. I just remember it from when I was really, really, really young.
Right.
Yeah.
It was.
You're giving your age away now, Pamela. I'm slowly getting closer to your age now.
The Queen Mother. The Queen Mother apparently was a big Keeping Up Appearances fan, and because she was quoted as saying that Hyacinth does the Queen better than the Queen does the Queen. She's always everything's got to be right.
Well, if you can imagine, obviously, on my mum's side, her mum, my nan, that's what my nan was like.
Was it?
Yeah, that's exactly what my nan was like.
Everything was in its place and proper, and
wore that type of dress, that type of clothing. That's what my nan was like.
She was
Just
a
like
proper
that.
English woman.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys watch Mrs. M. Carolyn, I think it's Matthews or something like that, but she doesn't give her last name. But she has her parents on every once in a while, and when you see them, I think they look like a traditional English couple, older couple. The facial structure to what they're wearing, you know where they came from. They came from England.
We watched every Saturday nights. It was Keeping Up Appearances.
There's another one
Good Life.
Judi Dench. Judi Dench and that other guy.
Yeah. As Time Goes By.
As time goes by.
And then it wrapped up with Are You Being Served? But after Are You Being Served, it went to Canada because we watched the Red Green Show. And I love
remember that title, but I don't think I ever watched that show.
Well, he's on YouTube.
What's his name? Smith.
Yeah.
He just lives about 10, 15 minutes from me.
Does he?
Not even that, because I could walk to where he lives.
And I was watching one of the episodes of the Red Green Show, and Colin Mockery was a regular, like he was the postman or something like that. You know
I
who
didn't
Colin
watch
Mockery
it
is?
too much. My husband watched it more often than I did.
It's a guy, it's a guy show. I mean, it was sort of like Home Improvement, without the wife and the kids. He was all about the duct tape. But that was what we did on Saturday nights back in the day. We watched all the the British comedy shows, and we always really. Hyacinth is one of these people that you either like or you love.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't like or you love, and she has just always been because it was always Poor Richard. That's why when I saw that show come on, I was thinking, Poor Richard. Poor Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some information. Hyacinth.
Right.
She was in a movie in the late 60s Do you know what movie it was in? And she was a fairly main character. Late 60s, with Sidney Poitier.
To Serve with Love or whatever it was.
Exactly. She's in that movie.
Is she a student or is she like a faculty member?
She's one of the teachers.
Wow.
And you know, I didn't know she was an accomplished singer, like opera trained.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They were doing this thing on PBS, and they were talking about her singing. She really has a true singing ability, and she trained professionally.
Oh wow, that I did not know. Oh,
So
Kitty.
She will always be known as Hyacinth.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, for her to play that sort of character, she's come from a very wealthy background anyway.
Has she?
It's just, yeah, definitely. It's too natural. Her acting was too natural, so she's come from money.
What is it? What was the other sister's name? The one that had the house.
Violet.
Huh?
Violet.
Violet. She's the one that lived in the house with the room for the pony.
Oh, I just got it. They were all flower names. Rose, Hyacinth, and Violet. I never connected those dots.
Yeah, they're all flowers.
Flowers.
And Bouquet. Hello.
A bouquet.
That's Bucket. It was always Bucket, like Charlie Bucket from Willy Wonka, until Richard married Hyacinth, and then it became Bouquet. Because, you know, there was a running joke about them checking into a hotel or something like that, and she'd say, Bouquet? And they'd say, we don't have a bouquet. And she said, well, I made the reservation myself. Check again. And she says, I'm sorry, madam, we don't have a bouquet. And Richard would say, Bucket. And she said, oh, we have Bucket. And then Hyacinth would correct her and say, it's pronounced Bouquet. See, I've watched entirely too much of that show.
Yeah, I think you have.
One of the things I like to watch is I don't know if you have Masterpiece Theater, and throughout the 70s they do a lot of the British serial type of things like Upstairs, Downstairs,
Right.
and Duchess of Duke Street.
Right.
Those are like two of my favorite series, and I watch them over and over and over.
I started watching, and then they took it off PBS. It was one where the Prime Minister, it was something about the Prime Minister. It was a comedy show, but it was about the Prime Minister. And
Yes, Prime Minister.
do I?
Yes, Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because I thought Prime Minister was in the name. But I started watching that, and they took it off before I could get too far into it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. To me, that tells the real story of politics.
On your side of the pond. on Snobby side of the pond. Excuse me, you're on the same side of the pond that we are.
So Pamela and Snobby, what is your favorite American show? It got quiet.
Oh my goodness.
The Queen City Picker Show.
Hold on, I'm just looking how much battery I've got left on my phone.
I'm just trying to think of. It's probably an older show. I don't watch too much television.
Pamela
I don't watch very much anymore either because I'm busy watching YouTube.
What sort of age? When I was younger or present?
It's whatever.
Whichever.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Can you answer her question, then I have something I want you to do.
Well,
I watch a lot of news shows.
News
Obviously,
don't count.
one springs to mind. one springs to mind, being Mal, possibly Baywatch.
I figured that's what it was. It was gonna be one of the chick shows.
No. Honestly, maybe Knight Rider.
Right.
That's pretty American.
Yeah.
$6 Man or something. Steve Austin.
$1 Million Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm running off Mal type ones, aren't I? Really.
I think I have the game somewhere here.
But the thing about it is, though, is that most of the shows that we have in America now are based on British shows.
Yeah.
We have a lot of shows that are based on British shows.
Yeah, but you can't do as good as what we do.
That's right. That's right. Now, Snobby, can you do an American accent?
Well, I have been practicing. You know, I've learned whatever. Everything's got to have a lot of R's on it. My wife actually thinks that I talk a bit gay when I talk like it, but you know. Anyways.
Well, you hang with us long enough, and you will. You'll have a perfect American accent.
I'm trying
because I'm South and she's West, and Pamela
I
even
don't have an accent. He has an accent.
I'm North.
And she's North. Pamela has no accent.
That's us. We're Canadians, you know. Every now and then we just throw in an A.
Hey, don't you know?
Hey, yeah.
Yo, people.
Yo.
But,
bitches. And it's where you put that tone stop, bitches. Like, dude, you can use the word dude for 40,000 other words.
Dude is like chow.
It works. Dude works.
Dude is like chow. You know, chow is hello, chow is goodbye.
Yeah.
Dude is gonna be like, dude, a question.
Dude.
You know, you just the fluctuation of the word has a completely different meaning.
Yeah.
I don't think they have dude over there.
I bet they do.
Not in that way. You're just goofing on Americans when you say dude, but it's not incorporated into the vernacular.
I have been quoted by the Americans as being a bit goofy, and I could only relate to that as a cartoon character, right? But then I actually looked up what the Americans mean by goofy. And yeah, they're probably right. I'm a little bit goofy, but I don't care. I am what I am, and that's it. I can't change it now.
I was just going to ask you, with England, do they still have all those sweet shops that sell all the candy? Like the stores that just sell pure candy? Like a confectionery?
There are a few left.
Oh.
Like you guys, a lot of the corner shops have gone. Right, your sweet shops are all gone. It's all sort of big multi-stores now, like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Morrison's, you know, big supermarkets. And it's just the little shops can't compete anymore, so they've gone.
See,
that's
incredibly sad to me. That's incredibly sad to me. All of these little shops like that going out of business, because to a lot of people it had a lot of meaning to. Apparently, they had a lot of meaning to you, Pamela.
Yeah.
And the history and the
I heard that there is no longer any small bakers making baguettes in France anymore. It's all been basically outsourced to bread manufacturing.
Well, we have a bake shop here that's a French couple opened up, and they have the best. They have bread that'll make you want to kiss your grandma. I mean, that is the best baked bread you've ever tasted in your life. It's expensive, but it's good. It's not like going to the supermarket.
Well, that's the thing, see. Sorry, Tom. Most of the supermarkets, like I just said, they all bake their own bread on site.
Oh, do they?
Right.
So
Not
when you
here.
go into these, when you go into these superstores, you can smell that bread, and you're like, oh.
And then you
Wow.
buy everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you never go to them hungry because you're going to buy one of them freshly cooked loaves of bread. You know, it's like it's one of their tactics, isn't it? And guess what? These bakers, or where they bake the bread, are at the furthest corner of the superstore. You know, so you've got to walk 300 yards to the furthest corner to get
We
to it.
have that too. Mhm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They'll put milk in the very back corner of the store because so you'll have to walk through the whole store to get to it. And listen,
Through the candy aisles.
I'm
Yeah.
a guy. When I grocery shop, I know I do the grocery shopping around here. I know where everything's at in the store, and I'm in and out. I go get what I know which aisle to go to get what I need, and then I get out. I don't walk up and down the aisles. My wife, who I love more than life itself, went grocery shopping with me one time, and I thought I was gonna lose my mind before we started up the baby aisle. And I'm like, baby, we don't need anything from this aisle unless there's something you haven't told me. And she's like, no, I just want to see what new stuff. I just want to see what new kind of stuff they have out there because it's been so long since our boys were babies. And I'm like, okay, well, let's move it on. And she had to stop and pick up stuff and look at it. Well, they didn't have this when our boys were little. Honey, that's been 20 years ago. Of course, you know, we didn't have mobile phones 20 years ago. And she doesn't drink. And then we used to be, they had the wine in one of the aisles. So we're going down she turns and goes down the aisles and she's picking up bottles and looking at them. I'm like, honey, you don't drink. I know, but they have some of the prettiest labels. Let's get our stuff and get out. The store that I shopped at all the time, we were out of town. So it was about a week and a half before I went back into that grocery store. And they had moved the whole damn store around. I couldn't find anything. I had to go up and down the aisles. And I finally, the assistant manager was a friend of mine. And I said, dude, what happened? He says, well, they did a reset for the whole store. I said, I can't find anything. He said, honestly, that's the reason why. And I said, I don't buy that much stuff when I come in here. He says, no. He said, a lot of people come in and they know exactly what they want and they go directly and get it. And then they get out. He says, now you've got to look for it. So you might pick up a loaf of bread or a box of crackers or crisps or, biscuits and throw that British thing in there,
To make him feel at home.
Yeah, to make him feel bad because they don't have crackers over there. They have biscuits or cookies and biscuits.
Crackers are probably like something else, like I don't know, firecracker.
Yeah, that's the thing they pull and they pop it.
Yeah,
crackers.
Crisp or French fries.
We have another term for crackers. That's like being goofy, a little bit,
Okay.
Yeah, people are a bit crackers, they are. Anyway, Pamela, I know you asked a minute ago, and I didn't get the opportunity to tell you whereabouts I lived in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Where?
I'm probably about 13, 14 miles from Buckingham Palace. Not far.
Okay, so you're in London.
Yes. I live in the borough.
I won't say any more because I was about to start calling out subway stops, and that's not appropriate.
You can do what you like.
Subway stops.
Huh?
You can do what you like.
No. It's just that it's not good for people to know your placement.
I don't care.
I made him say the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
I've been to the town and country.
Sorry?
I've been to the town and country. It's a bar, a nightclub, or where bands play, the town and country.
No, I don't know it.
I'm trying to remember the other place that I went to because I used to come. I I went to see Jesus and Mary Chain when I was there at the Brixton Academy.
Right.
What else? Who else did I see while I was there? I think it was the Flaming Groovies I seen, but they're from Australia, I think. Flaming Groovies.
Yeah, that's I think Brixton and Elephant and Castle. That's I think south.
Yes,
London.
I went there to see because I think that was where I saw Jesus and Mary Chain. I was in a big new waver back in the day.
Right.
You know,
I don't know what the hell you're on
punk
about.
rock.
But, yeah.
New wave
Yeah,
is a kind of music, right? That's
New wave punk rock. So
Well, this-
I was like into all of that, Mighty Lemon Drops and
the Sex Pistols. Is that
yeah, all of
part of
that stuff.
I've lived
Yeah.
a very sheltered life.
My husband's a punk rock singer. My husband's a punk rock singer.
Nice.
Right, okay.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Snobby. Do y'all have Walmart in London or in England, UK?
No, sir.
They have
Oh,
other
that's
things
you.
equivalent.
No,
Do
sir.
I-
There's no
Walmart.
Walmart here. No, sir.
Is there anything equivalent to it?
We have a JD Sports Shop.
I think it'd be, to me, it sounds like it's Tesco's or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
we've got
a big,
Tesco's.
wide, deep discount store.
Yeah, but
No.
Tesco's doesn't sell clothing, does it? It really
Yes.
does now?
Yes,
They
it's got its own range. It's called the George range.
The George. I wonder if that's if they're a sister company of Walmart, because that they have George. Walmart has George line of clothes too.
Yeah, I bet if you
But I've mentioned before to Snobby, I watched this thing called it's about the
Wow.
narrowboats in England and in UK, and they a lot of times they're going down these canals and they'll come into a good sized metropolitan area and they'll go, okay, we must stop and go into Tesco and pick up this, that, and the other. And I always thought that was like a Walmart because they were talking about picking up a piece of rope and some groceries, some food stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, they don't. A lot of them stores don't sell that sort of stuff. They just sell groceries,
right,
and clothing. And some bigger stores will sell some electrical appliances,
right,
small ones like your kettles, your toasters, and small stuff.
So you don't have a department store like an American department stores where Walmart, they sell everything under one roof, except major appliances like.
What about Selfridges? No.
Miss Selfridges or the big store Selfridges.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was like those, like that was like a department store, but it's probably more clothing.
Oh no! You're absolutely right. We have two stores that are called Selfridges. You have Miss Selfridges, which sells ladies' clothing, right? Which is a completely separate store away from Selfridges itself.
Okay.
So Selfridges is a main big. You got to have a lot of money to shop in there, which is.
I know. I looked online. I saw some of the prices.
Yeah. That's the same as like Harrods.
I was about to ask you,
No.
have you ever shopped at Harrods?
No.
No, either have I.
No.
Because I mentioned the other night, a friend of mine was in the Air Force, and they lived in London or right on the outsides, and they could jump on a subway, the metro, whatever, the underground, and go directly and get. I knew I'd get to it in a minute. I'd got to, and there was a station nearby, but they said they never went there because everybody said it was so expensive. I said, you didn't even go in there and look around? No.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why there is an attraction to go to London. Because we do have the museums. Yeah, I mean, they're a fantastic place to go and visit. There's quite a few of them there. You know, they're lovely old buildings. You know, lovely places to go. But I just don't think it's like it was how it would have been many years ago.
Right.
Since like the UK's become like an international hotel.
Right.
If you know what I mean. It's like I don't use coming over to this country and seeing like what we're trying to put it nicely, like refugees sleeping on the streets or begging.
Oh, I
begging
don't
for
like
money.
that. I don't
You know,
like that.
No, I don't use guys coming over here seeing people from another country that are not English begging for money like Eastern Europeans. You know, why the hell they've come to the UK and who let them in the UK? Because we only want people coming to the UK to make the UK better. We don't want people coming in to beg.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
I'm
Why are you people giving away all your money? That's what she told me. That's what Pamela said to me the other night. Why are you people giving away all your money?
Well, you know what? This is something I said to somebody the other day. I said, you know what? I like countries to stay nice.
Right.
And when I go to England, I know that even though that's where I was born, there's a certain culture of England in which my parents chose to live there for.
Right.
And that I want to go back and visit for.
Right.
It's just like France. When I go to France, I want to get the experience of France, but am I going to get it now? Sorry, I lost it again. I guess
No, look, I don't want it to get all like really deep and anything like that.
No, but it's just
but
in general.
it's I'm only going to mention one country, right, that we're very familiar. Okay.
Oh no, me! I'm keeping my mouth shut. You can keep going.
No, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
There was an incident that happened in New Zealand, right? And I'm not going to mention anything more about that.
Right.
Right. But the guy that actually done that, he had travelled. He'd been around. He'd been to all these places, and he was absolutely disgusted in what he'd seen. Didn't like it, and that's what sort of made him go a little bit crackers and take out the actions that he did. I don't agree with it, but that he went to France. He didn't like it because of what he was seeing. He went to other places. He travelled, and like what Pamela says, she wants to go back to England and see it and remember it for the nice place that it was. France, she wanted to remember it for the same for what it was, But unfortunately, with being open to Europe and it all coming in, it's not how it used to be. Anyway, moving on.
Well, see, that's just it. If I go to England, I want to see England. I want to see the English that we think England is, and it's been so melted down with all these other people coming in, and I mean, they're like we are. I mean, there's a lot of English that's like our Americans, as far as everybody has the right to come in and all this kind of stuff. But it's destroying people's culture. Even in the United States, where we're so vast and we have so many people of different cultures, the American culture as a whole is being liquidated.
Yeah,
and
that's very sad. Very sad.
And it is. It's like I said, I don't want to go to England and see the Queen walking around in sari. She's supposed to be in her little suits, hats, and gloves, and her purse and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? And then
it
I'm afraid that's
doesn't
what
affect her. It doesn't affect her, does it?
Well, I'm using that as an example of expectations and stuff like that. And what's terrible is, like, I've always wanted to go to Egypt. I've always wanted to see the pyramids. I always wanted to see the Sphinx. I wanted to always see the Nile. I mean, ever since I was a small child. and now it's like it's got a tourist rating of like 10, which means don't go there unless you absolutely have to go there. And
my son went there a couple of years ago.
Well, from what I'm understanding, it's safer to go there than it is to go to Venezuela.
yeah.
Yeah.
Snobby, how many children do you have?
I have 2. They're not children anymore. They're 28 and 29.
Oh, wow.
Mine will be 30 next month in September.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they live nearby?
My son's had to move out of the area because he cannot afford to rent. Within the yeah, he can't afford to rent.
It's expensive in London.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And my daughter's still at home.
Oh, okay.
She's 29.
I hope she's pretty like her mother and doesn't take after her father, or she'll always be alone. Dusty's a lovely lady.
Yeah.
It's
one of the biggest things that took out the Roman Empire was allowing other nationalities under the Roman name, where they expanded through Europe and they allowed other nationalities to come in, and they ended up changing rules and laws and whatnot, and it ultimately did them in. Not that we should have had Roman Empire rule till today, but I think there's something to the movement of people. And my son has told me that all the wars of Napoleon, all the Napoleonic wars took out basically 2 generations of Frenchmen. So they changed the rules and they allowed more Middle Eastern people in. Now that's one of their biggest political issues, is all the people that they let in from other countries.
What is it they call them? British people call them? The French.
Not very nice names.
I can't remember what it was. But
one thing I learned, they don't really take a liking to redheads, to gingers, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Nah, not at all. I'm not aware of that.
I've heard it on TV, and I think even my son has said it. My son is a dark auburn redhead. So where he got that, I don't know, but
well, I love.
I mean, look. If you was born, unfortunately, with ginger hair, you got called ginger nut, right? That's it. That's the term that goes with it. But it doesn't mean nothing. It's just a name.
So that's okay with me.
But you're talking like to get a ginger person. That's like, and I mean ginger. Not like dark brown or with a bit of red in it. I'm talking ginger, like a Duracell battery.
Yeah.
The Weasleys. Come on, say it, Snobby. The Weasleys, Ron, and the rest of them.
Well,
that's because you haven't seen Harry Potter. Or
but there's no. Listen, you know as well as I do that the English are pretty nice people. Generally, they're nice people. They're not horrible people. Unfortunately, there are other nationalities out there that take for better words, I don't know whether you understand this word, they take the piss out of us.
Yeah.
Right? They come over here and take all the benefits, that my grandparents built up over the years.
Right.
They put into the system by paying their taxes and their national insurances. And these come over, right, flooded it, hemorrhaging into the country and getting straight on it. Well, they've never put nothing into the country in the first place.
Right.
And they reckon there's about 70 million people in the UK, right? And 20 million of them from other nationalities. So it's still got a stronghold, but they reckon by 2060, by year 2060, the English person will be the minority in the UK.
Babies. People
Yeah.
need to have babies.
Well, the thing about it is, though, if they can't afford to, to take care of them, then they don't need to have them. So
Yeah, but the ones on the dole are having lots.
yes, absolutely, and that happens here.
Yeah.
But people, they know what their financial situations are, and they don't. A lot of people do, and they don't have children because they only have one or two children, and because they can't, they know they can't afford it, and their quality of life will be terrible.
Yeah. Well, and that's true too.
Logical.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just the way it is. I don't like to see it happening, and you're powerless to do anything about it. And that's, it is what it is.
Well, look at Pamela. She's Norwegian. That's is good.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm also, what is that? Scottish, Ireland, and Wales. I'm 3% of that too. I'm like, I got home. It's amazing when you do your DNA and what you find out. Like, and the one thing that I'm not is nothing indigenous to the island in which my parents are from.
That's amazing.
Because most of the people, the indigenous people of the island where my parents are from,
right,
got killed off in about, I think they were mostly all killed off by about 1400s, which is way before Columbus went there. But most, from what I do know, from what my research is that a lot of the slaves that were brought to the Caribbean,
right,
is what I can't understand, because from what I understand, it's about 500,000 were brought to America, but there was over 1.5 million brought to the Caribbean and South America.
Yeah.
How come we're not complainers?
Because
I don't understand.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no, I don't understand.
I know what you're
Without going into too much detail, how come we're not complainers?
Because Canada doesn't put everybody on the dole.
Well, we have quite a few, and a lot of the new people are all on it too, just
Right.
like England and
America.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the mentality of people, But
If there's a system, someone's going to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
The system.
Human nature.
But if we pray, it'll get better.
Yeah. So, Pamela, what did your husband say when you said, I'm Norwegian? With a little Scotch, Irish, and Welsh in there.
He just got in, actually. Mike? Oh, he's hidden. He just got in from doing a show.
Is he a singer?
He's a punk rock singer in a punk rock band.
Cool.
Listen, Tom. She said that earlier.
Well, I thought that she was talking about the past. I didn't realize
Yeah, I
tonight.
was talking about when he was in his youth. When he was a youth.
Yeah.
Oh.
He just got in from this show.
Well, dang, it's only. Oh, you're Eastern Standard. Are you? You're Eastern
It was
Standard.
an outdoor show.
Was it?
Yeah, one of those outdoor things.
Did he ever come to America?
Oh yeah, he's played in America. What is that? He opened for Mike. He's hiding. I don't know where he is now. I can hear him. He opened for some. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's from England, actually. Mott the Hoople. You probably know. Mott the Hoople.
I'm not into punk. Old
No,
white
I'm
man. Not into punk. I don't
Yeah.
do rap either.
Or glam or whatever
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
The glam rock.
Yeah, he opened for Ian Hunter. Opened for him in the States a few times, and
Cool. We'll make him come to the camera.
I'm gonna Mike, where are you? You're hiding.
So, Snobby, what kind of stuff do you sell?
I don't sell a great deal on eBay. I mainly sort of collect scrap metal,
I clean
particular
myself.
types of metal.
Nice.
That's all.
Hey, how are you doing?
Wow.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Pretty good. I just came from a gig. I played Niagara Falls to a full house.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
full parking lot.
Respect.
Walking line.
I don't remember the name of the place. Taps. It's called Taps. It
Okay.
was a craft beer place with giant thing. No guys that looked weird with, man buns and little goatees and stuff like that. The kind those guys are, you'll see cruising, I'm sure.
It's she earlier she mentioned that you were in a punk rock band, and we thought she was talking about when you were a kid, and then she said, "No, he just came in from a gig," and I'm like, we're like,
Will you spit out the olives and start speaking succinctly?
They were talking about Hyacinth.
Hyacinth Bouquet.
Remember? They were-
The lady in the house. The bouquet residence. Lady in the house speaking. Yeah.
"No, you can't have a number 19 and a number 26. This is not a Chinese takeaway."
What's this guy over here doing?
I don't know why.
I gotta be able to point. That's the wrong way. I'm still trying to point at that guy. That guy over there, Mitch Miller. What are you saying?
What am I saying?
Mitch Miller.
Guy from England? Yeah, he looks like Mitch Miller. Yeah, Low Rose of Texas is the only girl for me. Mitch Miller was a nice guy. He didn't like rock and roll, but he lived to be 98.
Did he really?
You've outlived him already.
You're loud.
I know I'm live.
No, you're loud.
No, he's not loud. He's
Now, if you're
fine.
going to scold him now, he won't come back on the show anytime.
I
Tom,
can't
you
understand
can
this
offer a
guy.
music show.
He's
That's right. I've
Everybody-
heard a famous punk rocker singing and all my
okay.
Now, is this what you do for a living? Is singing in the band, or are you
Darn
like
ain't much of a living, buddy.
maker during the day?
What?
Darn ain't much of a living.
What?
What do you mean, what? I said the same thing 3 times. You don't understand through my Polish accent?
You know,
That guy,
Well,
I
the
didn't know whether he was
question
like
was,
an
where is
investment
he?
maker during the day.
Pamela, the question
that
was,
guy
is
still
this full
hasn't said
time?
anything.
No, he has a regular job.
Yeah, I'm an underwater welder.
Oh, really?
I'm an
No,
underwater welder, and the company I work for makes clutch cables.
Pamela.
No,
There's
that's the story for the band. You tell everybody that you're an underwater welder.
I can't. I'm not into disclosing what I do. I have signed a confidentiality. Okay, this is
Oh.
weird. I
Oh,
have a confidentiality agreement that I have signed. And that is why I've made up all those funny stories, because I
Yeah.
do have a confidentiality agreement with my company about what I do for a living. But I put it this way, it has affected everybody on this page, and it's affected your car. This guy's laughing. Only the ignorant laugh. Actually, I make air pollution control devices,
Ooh.
and I've done so for 30 years.
Manufacturing.
Yes.
Car exhausts.
That is a big difference right there, son.
Yes, there is. And see, the
Is that-
thing is, I couldn't write good rock and roll songs if I didn't have a blue collar job, because that's where rock and roll came from. It relates to look at your own bands like Slade and Oasis
Right.
and Mott the Hoople.
They don't know who Mott the Hoople
That
is.
guy would know. He's got a British accent. Of course, he's going to know who Mott the Hoople and Slade are.
He just like no.
Status quo.
Status quo.
Sorry. I apologise.
You're too old, Mike.
So there's your homework, Snobby. You got to figure out
I'm
who
older
Mott.
than
Oh,
both of us, guys.
no.
What'd you do to yourselves ever?
I haven't got time for that.
There's another. There, you can turn that to an
You know
American
what?
phrase.
Scotland,
Ain't
we were so
nobody got
poor, they were
time
so
for
into
that.
a guilt. I was at a
Yeah.
bar tonight where they served beer. It was so flat they could have served it in envelopes.
Yeah.
You don't know who Status
Funny, but
Quo and
terrible.
Mott the Hoople are, but you know the joke. Oh, who is the comedian? Les Dawson and Ray Martin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got you there, didn't I?
Yeah, I know Les Dawson, yeah.
Les Dawson was one of my childhood heroes.
Right, yeah.
I wanted to look
He,
like
he
him.
used,
Have
he used to
plastic
wear
surgery
women's
to look like
clothing,
him.
though.
Huh?
He used to wear women's clothing.
Did he?
Yeah. He used to dress up as a
I've
lady.
done so on stage lots of times too. Why do you got me talking to these guys? It's like I'm still at work.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
it is 1:47 my time.
It's 11:47 my time.
11.
I'm-
Where are you?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, I was watching. I was watching an episode of The Honeymooners the other day, and Norton was pretending to do bird watching, and he said he saw a yellow-bellied sapsucker, and Ralph goes, "There's no yellow-bellied sapsuckers in New York." And Norton goes, "Oh, I guess I'll have to write something else down." And he wrote down Albuquerque, New Mexico. My favorite comedy was The Honeymooners of a running comedy, but my other one was Joker's Wild, and they would have Les Dawson and Ray Martin as regular guests.
Right. Yeah, I like the Honeymooners. That was, I mean, I remember when they were broadcasting that.
Anyway, I've got one for you, right?
Yeah.
What's good looking, right, and hangs up?
And hangs up.
Oh,
I love it. They're getting ready to go.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm ready to call it quits for the night.
It's the night.
Tom, you had a fun show. Thank you very much. Goodbye to everybody.
Thank you.
I
Bye-bye,
think
Absolutely.
Michelle.
I'm gonna
Bye-bye,
start doing this
Tom.
on Saturday night. I think I'm gonna start doing this on Saturday night for the people that don't have a life.
Yeah, this was pretty good. And I got some listing done, so that's always good.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Pamela. Thank
And
you,
thank
Mike.
you very much.
Right.
You guys have a great one.
Good night. I've had a great time with you.
All right, thank you. We enjoyed
Tammy
you
left to
coming
bring
in.
him back.
Bye.
That's right.
Bye-bye.
Everybody that's still left in the chat, thank you for coming in. I'm sorry I missed some people that's in here. We will I appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out. And so I want to say good night and see you soon.